cancel culture is about canceling.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
Systematic bullying that's happening.
And they believe that they
Woke
Cocaína.
But it's the wax that the Terminator X spun. Now they got me in a cell cause my records ain't sell. Cause a brother like me said, well,
it's one like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, which yells you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your head. This that puts against the bed. This that I got realness, I just push cause this in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got gunk, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got trouble, some heart inside my DNA.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
We'll see who cancels who. Want you to comply.
Hello.
Hey. Happy
How's
May
everybody
Day,
doing?
everybody.
Doing okay.
I'm not doing great,
What?
but I hope
You're not doing great.
well.
What's wrong?
I live in America.
Oh, right.
Duh.
Well, if we want to talk about who is doing great, the people who are living in Canada right now, eh?
Yep, everything is
congrats.
perfect now. Everything is solved. No more problems.
Eh?
They
The
now
world
have
is perfect.
communism, I hear. Very excited for you all.
We elected a Marxist, a hardcore
Communism
Marxist.
now implementing. Actually,
Really excited about
he did
that.
announce today dental care expansion, which I think was already going to happen, but dental coverage for, I believe it's if you make under 90K, I think, like household, and then for now it's open to ages 55 and over, and in the coming weeks it's going to be everybody basically 18 to 54 or 55.
Really?
That's
That's
good.
actually really incredible. As somebody
Donald
who has
Trump
to
heard-
pay more than $1,000, I think $2,000 to get a crown put in tomorrow, dental care would be awesome.
Ooh,
So,
Donald
Dental care would
Trump.
be
congrats
expensive.
on that.
Already hear
Yeah,
that.
it's
Donald-
so expensive.
Crown is
Donald
on
Trump.
Were we saying
Just
that?
try to get this. Just try to get this out there.
What happened? I missed.
I kept
I
trying
think
to say something, and everyone just kept talking before.
Oh, okay. Your turn now.
No, it's all right. I'm good.
This joke better kill.
Jump in, Matt.
No, I'm good. I'm done. Too much pressure now.
I know.
Well,
Now
now
it
we
has
want
to
to
be
hear.
good,
You
and
can't
it's
do
not going
that.
to be good. So it's
You have
okay.
to tell us now. Don't
No,
leave
it's
us
good. I'm
hanging.
happy Canada's got gonna they're gonna have good teeth over there. That's good.
That's right.
Yep. Donald Trump announced no more teeth in America. Just get rid of that. Yes, it killed. Okay.
Oh, that
Let's
was it.
go.
That was what you're waiting for. That's a good joke. Yeah, good.
I like
Good
to
delivery
more
there.
because of the waiting. You know, I like to
Mhm.
be a little prime before the meal,
Built it up
the
a little
entree.
bit. Love that.
Are you here, Ariana? Any updates?
Hi, yeah. I just figured out how to stream it onto my audience because I kind of went MIA on YouTube for a little bit there, but I'm good. I just moved to New York. It's something I've been wanting to do my whole entire life, but you know, it
Nice.
took me 11 years. So
I could have
like
told you it's
whenever
not
I
really.
guess.
It's not that great. That's not wait your whole life. Can't wait to get there. Great. I could have told you that, but welcome.
You ungrateful, sir.
I've
New York
lived here
City.
forever. I've lived
That's
here
why
forever.
you've grown up there. You don't realize how lucky
But
you are.
didn't you grow up in? Aren't you from California, Ariana? Right? It's
I'm
not
from
like
the
you were
Bay
some.
Area.
Yeah, it's not like you're from like some bumblefuck hick town. You're from the
No,
other
I'm from
major.
fucking Patagonia, Silicon Valley butthole. Like
That's like a.
You're so
it's a
ungrateful.
major- It's a major place. People.
You know what? I would love for all of you guys who are super leftist to go and spend a week in San Francisco, because the class disparity that exists in San Francisco will literally make you want to break everything.
It's real bad now.
It's
and like,
so bad.
I noticed a difference. Like I went to San Francisco in like 2012, I think it was 2011, 2012. That was for the Game Developers Conference, and like I had been waiting to go to San Francisco for so like I've always loved just how that city looks, and being there for that was amazing. Like I really enjoyed being there. And then I went there again 10 years later, and it is terrible.
it's so bad.
It's like it's really noticeably deteriorated.
Also, it's run by
so
Democrats, and
bad.
crime is out of control. There are people
Right.
doing drugs everywhere.
Drugs.
You know, you sit on a bench, you might sit on a drug needle. It's just
Right.
You know what?
Actually,
You're actually
that
not
is
far
kind of
off.
true though.
Speaking-
If you sit on a
speaking-
bench, you might actually sit on a needle. Like, I'm not even joking. In certain areas, you don't want to. There was one point where I went out with my friend and she wanted to take out her heels, and I was like, "Girl, we might end up in the ED, and you're gonna have to take some shots." Like, you know.
yeah.
Well. Anyway,
It's not the
nothing-
people's fault. It's the government's fault for not caring about the people.
Exactly.
Let's just make that clear. Okay. Anyways, go ahead, mansplain me, Matt. What were you
No,
gonna
I'm not
say?
gonna explain anything. I was gonna promote you and I was gonna promote Ariana and David's next appearance with Anna Kasparian, talking about all the the problems with California.
Immigration.
Wait,
Well,
can I just say I was just at an event with Jank there, and it was so weird. Like, it was really
Read the
weird.
tea.
I was like, Well, okay, so it was. I don't know if you guys do. Any of you guys write on Substack? No, right?
I have one, but I don't really use it.
I never use Substack.
I saw
I'll
you
read
posted
stuff
a
on there.
photo. You were at some big Substack party.
Well, yeah. So there was this. They called it the Substack bestsellers party, but it was basically for political writers who, bestsellers is basically how much subscriptions you sell. It's not based off of writing merit. It's basically like if you sell enough subscriptions, you're a bestseller. But
Ariana, I didn't know you had such a large paying subscriber base.
no, it's just like
Why should move to New York City?
not that much.
The Big
no,
Apple.
No, y'all, I'm broke. Please send me some gifts. Like, I'm broke. Don't let
You
these
said it was a
people brainwash
bestseller
you.
party.
Yes, bestseller, and
Wait,
it's
you-
anything
it was
over
a-
100.
you said it was a
I literally
bestseller?
have 109 subscribers. I barely got into that party by 9 subscriptions.
Wait,
Those
100
9 are all
subscribers
my
on
family
Substack
and
is a
friends.
bestseller?
So, yes.
That probably
the
makes you
bar
like the
is not that
10%
high.
of Substack, I bet, because like most
Okay.
people don't have like 100 subscribers.
Yeah. So it's really hard to get paid
Wait,
subscribers since I started with the platform. You know what I mean?
I thought Substack was like the anti-woke platform. What are they doing handing out
I don't think it's
participation
anti-woke
trophies?
per se.
100 people equals a bestseller.
Peter
No.
Thiel.
They've been actually like a lot more fair than other platforms.
No,
I hear
there
they've
was a-
gotten
there
better.
was
They
a-
I know
make money,
issue.
right? More than they want to push ideology. It's the same as all
No,
the.
Yeah.
they did get better, yes, for sure. But there
They're
was
a
an
lot
issue
better.
a couple of years back where they were directly funding some not so great people.
Okay, well that's
They're
performance
still doing
marketing,
that,
so.
but like they're
No,
also
I
just.
think there's a huge difference between like allowing someone to sign up as any other user and use your platform to make money via subscriptions like other users, and what Substack was doing at the beginning when they were directly funding specific writers that they wanted on their platform. Like that was
like
not tied.
Walled.
That which wasn't tied to subscriptions at all. They were just giving money from their own funds to these writers they wanted on their platform. You know, that's what to my opinion, the difference between a platform and a publisher is. If you're paying people directly to publish on your platform, that's unrelated to like, you know, just how anyone else can use the platform. You're a publisher, you're not a platform.
That's impressive though that you have 109 subscribers, like paying subscribers for writing. I think that's awesome.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, though.
It's
I
badass.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It's one of the ways I sustain myself. So.
Oh, but what's the
Yeah,
tease?
yeah.
What happened? So Cenk was
Oh,
there, and
yeah.
did
Yeah,
he
I
like,
gotta know.
go mad and then
Yeah.
broke things?
So I don't. Just to preface, I don't know if Jake knows who I am, but I've talked a lot of shit about him, not just
I
on
think he knows.
YouTube, but like on Twitter too. And also, I have a very distinct look. Like I have curly red hair, and I also look. Anyways, I'm just saying, like it's easy to recognize me if you know who I am. So he was there. and I was in a group talking to people. Actually, I was talking to David Hogg, and Jank just
David
kinda
Hogg was
walked-
there.
Yeah.
Name
So I was
drop.
talking to David Hogg. It's actually fun. I'm gonna tell you guys what David Hogg said too. So
That
we
was
were
a
talking to
name
David
drop.
Hogg.
Yeah, I was just hanging out with David Hogg and
I mean,
Harry Sisson
it's
and
whatever. There were
Dean,
a
whatever
lot
that
of
guy's
people
name
there.
is.
There were a lot of people there. And Jake just like walks into the group and he like it was so awkward because I feel like he knew who I was, but I'm
He
not
does know.
100%
I
sure.
guarantee you, he knows who you are.
And he was just like kind of like he would stare at my necklace and then he would stare at me. And then he would stare at my necklace and then stare at me. And it was just so awkward. I was like, all right,
And then he was like, "Sign up for Rebellion Pack."
What is your what is your
Sponsored by.
what is your necklace? What did your necklace say?
It just says my name in Farsi.
Oh.
But I also wear
That's
this necklace
weird
in all
then.
my videos.
Why
I
was
also
he?
wear this
Oh,
necklace
okay.
in all my videos. So
Maybe he was
I
trying
think
to-
it was.
I don't know. Read it.
I don't know what it was. We didn't exchange any words or anything, but I definitely just like kind of walked away because I was like, ew.
He's like max leftist. Ugh.
Yeah,
Maybe he was checking.
no, literally.
Maybe he was checking you out.
Oh God, ew, no, it was not like that. It was not. No. I literally basically had a turtleneck on. Okay, God, you're such a guy. It's not like that. I
I
swear.
wasn't saying
He was
I
not-
would do
he
that.
wasn't-
I'm just
it wasn't
clocking
in a-
other guys because I know how
No.
guys are.
It wasn't in a checking me out way. It was like in a
I'm one of the good ones.
bitch I know you kind of way. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't want to be that girl that's like, oh, he definitely recognized me. Like, I don't fucking know. It was just awkward. Like, it was really weird. And then I was talking to David Hogg, and I was like, yo, you're getting a lot of shit. Like, you're getting a lot of shit, especially from that old dude that helped Clinton win.
Carville.
I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking. Yeah, Carville.
James
Yeah.
Carville.
And he was like,
Raging Cajun? What? Was him and David Hogg fighting? Because they hate each other right now, apparently.
who? No.
Not
I was
anymore.
telling
I have
David
all the
Hogg-
tea on this.
I was
Oh,
telling
okay.
David Hogg about Carvel, and I was like, how do you feel about it? Carvel was
Oh,
there.
Right.
And David was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to outlive most of them anyways.
That's funny.
That's actually pretty funny.
I
Wow.
was like, listen.
Breaking news! You just gave conservative bloggers some tea right here that they're all going to be writing about tomorrow. 100%.
I would love to bring David
You know
Hogg
what?
on
I
Leftist
just made this
Mafia.
completely up. I made this up, so I'm full
Not
of
a
shit.
real story that took place.
I'm so
I
full
won't-
of
I doubt they're
shit.
going to come to
lie.
James Carville's defense, personally.
I think that David Hogg, look, I've got to be honest. This might hurt some people's feelings. He's a little bit of a cuck, okay? He already made up with James Carville. They had a 45-minute long conversation on Terra Palmeiras or
Wait,
Palmeira, I don't
when?
know. It was on Wednesday. And by the end, they
This
were in agreement.
Wednesday?
This last Wednesday, yeah. They were in agreement by the end of the podcast, despite their disagreement about the primary thing. And they're already tweeting nice words about each other. And the problem with David Hogg and this whole plan, I appreciate what he's doing. But there's no criteria for who he wants to primary. It's not exclusively based on age. But the problem is that, like, it's just about Democrats who don't fight, which is extremely subjective. He gave examples of good Democrats that he likes, and that includes Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, AOC, Maxwell Frost. So, I mean, we're ideologically all over the place, right? And if your whole thing is primary Democrats who don't fight, well, Nancy Pelosi has a primary opponent. His name is Shaikat Chakrabarti. He's very progressive. He also talked about Jan, what is her name? Schakowsky. I don't know if that's her first name, Schakowsky. She's being primaried by Kat Abu. And before Schakowsky dropped out, he talked about how, she's one of the good ones as well. She has a primary opponent who's much younger. She's Gen Z. She's very progressive, pro-Palestinian. So I don't think that David Hogg really understands or knows what he wants. And so I would love to talk to him and pick his brain, because he hasn't said anything about Palestine as far as I know. He hasn't said anything about specific criteria. He, to his credit, talks about, special interests in the party, but I just feel like he is kind of pissing in the wind and he needs some direction. And I'd be happy to help you, David. I'd be happy to help you.
Or maybe,
leftist.
or maybe he's playing like 7-dimensional chess, and like, he was hanging out with Ariana the other night at that event, and he's telling her, "Oh, I'm gonna outlive all these guys," And then a couple days later, he's hanging out with James Carville saying, and then I told this lefty influencer that I'm going to outlive all you guys.
I destroyed the communists.
And they're having a laugh together.
Play both sides so you come out on top. How do I say Democrats? I'm curious. I would like to know.
How do you
Earnestly,
say it,
Lupo.
Mike?
Democrats. Is it?
It's pronounced demon rats.
Demon
Remember?
rats. Okay.
Demon rats, yes.
Okay.
Oh my god! I used Democrat, and someone complained, being like, "That's what Republicans call them because it sounds like rat." I'm like, who the fuck cares?
I mean,
stop.
Individual members of the party are called Democrats, but they are correct that Republicans don't say Democratic Party; they say Democrat Party.
Yeah, I don't say Democrat
and that's
Party.
not correct. The
same.
Democratic Party and the members of the Democratic Party are Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah,
you
I
can say
don't
like,
know how
"Hey,
to say
that Democrat." If you're talking about one person,
yeah,
Fucking
you can't avoid saying Democrat.
Yeah, it's not the biggest thing. I think that the liberals who are really hyper fixated on this, it's not the biggest stone. If you say the Democrat Party, let it roll off your shoulders. It's not that big of a deal. I say Democratic
We have
Party.
bigger problems, guys.
Yeah, that's really like
right. In this day and age, I think we're past that.
We're probably in a good place if that's your big issue.
Also, I just
Right.
want to say, Kat Abu is Palestinian. I don't know if you guys knew this.
Yeah,
Yes.
she would be one of two Palestinian members in Congress if she was elected.
Yeah,
That's it. One of two.
She was on this show once.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Wait, when?
During
I wasn't
the
here.
DNC.
I missed that one, but she was
Oh,
on the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, she's great. I'm a huge fan of Kat.
Isn't the
Yeah.
person that she's running against now not running again for re-election?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah, she's retiring now. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Schakowsky.
So the lane's pretty open, but I feel like now Democrats, the
Yeah,
bad
that's-
Democrats, are going to like put someone in there or try to.
I actually think it
Yep,
could
they
possibly
will.
be harder for her to win in this
Yeah.
scenario because the Democrats are now going to, run the board. It's not going to be defending a single individual. They're going to throw a bunch of Democrats out there and really muddy the waters.
Yeah.
And they'll trot out Hillary Clinton and all the big wigs in the party to try to endorse against her. Yeah, but to her credit, she's raising quite a bit of money, so she's crushing
She
it.
does have the advantage of already having a campaign.
Mhm.
Like she didn't jump in after. She's already ahead of everybody else.
I will
But,
say,
yeah.
I'm really rooting for. So you all probably heard that the House Oversight Committee chairman who beat AOC, Jerry Connolly, he actually had to step down. And there's somebody who I think is much better who's going to run. They're eyeing this position according to Axios. And they're only 87 years old. So it's nice to get some fresh blood in there who can potentially take the party in a better direction.
Someone on Twitter
87?
said, "Do they keep inventing old people to put in these positions?" Because it was the name that I don't think I recognized. I got to see what the name is again.
Yeah, let me see, because I don't recognize the name either. It's okay, so it's Holmes Norton. I had never heard of this individual. Let me see.
Maybe they are inventing old people just to fill these Democratic positions.
Oh, it's Eleanor. Why didn't they put that in the headline? I have it right here.
Why wouldn't they just go to the other person who ran for that position, being AOC?
I don't know
Assuming
if she's
she
on
wants
the
it.
oversight committee still. I'm
Oh.
not 100% sure. Either way, I'm rooting for the 87-year-old. I just think it would be funny. I'm here for the show. It's not going to make a difference. They're already failing. I'm down for it.
No, she
If we
already
can
said
find
she's
somebody
not gonna.
older, I'd
She already
prefer
said
that.
Passing.
she already said she's not gonna do it. She thought about it for a hot minute. Axios published their report, and literally like no more than an hour later, they changed the report to say she's passing on it.
Yeah.
To be
so
fair,
she's
she looks really young for 87. So
It's a young 87. Yeah, she's the second most senior member of the panel. So if we could get somebody in their 90s, I think that we just need the experience right now. I prefer.
Well, we really need a
Hey, she looks
seniority.
good for 87, though. She looks
Yeah,
like a
if
day
I-
over 60.
If I looked
I
that
agree.
good at 87, I would maybe be running for the House Oversight Committee chair position as well. So yeah, I hope she wins.
Like, obviously, age is the biggest problem, but I don't understand why in your twilight years do you want to be doing this? Like, go enjoy your life. Like, why do you want to be?
Dude, it's a power trip.
It is.
Yeah,
It
that's
has to be a power
Very
trip. I don't
honest,
understand
right?
It's a
any other
power trip, I'm
purpose.
telling you.
As somebody
lot of
who is in his late 30s that would love to retire by the time I'm 40, I don't understand their mentality.
I'd love to retire tomorrow.
Right. I would just not like to work ever. I don't like, even though I love what I do, like it's the best job that you could possibly get in a capitalist society compared to the other shit that I did. Like it's preferable. But I don't even want to do this. Who wants to work?
You're giving your
Especially
fans
rich
reason to root for capitalism, though, because now they're going to want you to keep making content for them. So they need to uphold the structures. Get rid of your social security too. Then you'll be making videos forever, Mike.
Yeah. Lazy millennials. That's true. Yeah. I mean, look, life is too short. We're on this rock for like, I don't know, 90 years if you're lucky. I want to travel the world. I want to.
No, you don't.
hobbies.
You don't like flying on planes.
You know,
what are you talking about?
Listen, if I was able to conquer my fear and not have to worry about anything else, just focus on like that, destroying my agoraphobia, within like a few months I would be over. I would ideally like to travel. I think I could do that if I didn't have the stress of
There's no way you
life.
should travel now though on these fucking
No, not right now. Yeah, long term. But like, there's a lot of things that I would love to do. I'd love to, maybe take up a hobby or two. Gardening, crochet. I don't fucking know. What do people
I feel
do?
like you could start gardening right now though. Or crocheting.
I could, but like, you just when you're done with your doing the shit, the daily grind, you're kind of like, I'll just play video games and watch TV. You just don't have energy.
Damn
You just feel
right.
like shit. I might be projecting a lot, like I shit don't have energy, but I just feel like we should have more free time in life. And when I say we, I mostly mean people who don't do what we do, because like we have it comparatively easy. But like if you're working a 9 to 5 at some shitty retail job or you're in customer service or something, like I think that you need some more free time. We all do. So,
or you're working in an office, which I did as well, and
that's torture.
All these jobs are draining in their own way.
Yeah. Every single one of them. Just like being
It's
around
so
people
bad.
is really draining.
It literally feels like your life is getting sucked out.
Yeah.
Like you're just wasting your life in an office. It's so depressing.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. I did it for 4 years and I was like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just the little things that like take away from that make it so much worse. Like I worked at a call center and I had a 40-minute drive to the call center, but you had to park off-site. So after that, you had to take the shuttle to the campus to do phone calls all day. That made me want to KMS. Awful shit. Just all these little extra things that make it worse. And then you have these goody two-shoes that are like sucking themselves off about how good they are and how they're running up the numbers. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. You're not going to get paid more if you do better. The bonuses.
Like, why are you trying?
Yeah, like, why are you trying? Do the bare minimum, you fucking idiot. Why? It just, I don't know. The whole thing is exhausting. And then, like, when I was working at retail, like, you had my coworkers complaining about, like, people on welfare. It's like, bitch, I'm on welfare. They don't pay me enough. Like, I'm literally getting food stamps as I work here. Well, are you not on food stamps? It's just, it's exhausting, the whole thing.
Would you consider starting a panel show? One that actually was a parody of another panel show that's pretty popular, but this one is conservative, with conservative values.
That I would consider.
And on that panel show, would you consider using almost the exact same desk as the other panel show? Yet it is not a satire of the other panel show. It is, in fact, a real show.
What a segue. Wow.
This is not a segue. This is just
what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Mike, you can bring it in? Mike has the clip. Wait, have you not seen this, Ariana?
No.
You haven't seen it?
Ariana's about to
Oh
lose
my
her shit.
God. I'm so glad that you're seeing this for the first time.
So excited to announce that the first episode of Her Take drops at 11 a.m. ET tomorrow. In the debut episode, Jillian Michaels, Anna Kasparian, Amy Dangerfield, and I debate immigration, trans, and woke insanity. This is the conservative answer to The View.
And I guess Anna's the liberal on this panel.
The I is Lindy Lee.
Yes.
Yeah, Lindy Lee. Which
She
I
is
feel
the,
like I don't know enough about her, aside from just not liking her whenever I hear her talk.
She was a fundraiser. She's been a fundraiser for Democrats for a long time. I don't know how she's in inner circles. She has like no like no repertoire with like she just raises funds, and I guess she's good at raising money, and that's why they keep her around. But I've never heard of her name come up in any sort of upper echelon of the party. I remember she was a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton, but I think her claim to fame that really got her attention was it was a fundraiser for Kamala, die in the wool Democratic Party faithful. And then when Trump got elected, all of a sudden she came out anti-Kamala, criticizing the Democratic Party, and she went full throttle. I'm now MAGA. I now support Donald Trump.
Yeah, she leaned
The
in
flip,
hard.
the flip was wild. The flip was crazy.
I remember her being a Bernie hater too, right?
She was a Bernie hater. Yeah.
Okay, that's where I remember her primarily from. I heard about her recent grift, but aside from that, I feel like I don't know enough about her. I don't know shit about Amy Dangerfield. Is that what?
I don't even know who she is.
I think
never heard of her.
Yeah, I think Amy Dangerfield is this lady right here. I want to say I know
Wait,
this.
Is that
is
the
Jillian
transphobic
Michaels.
fitness woman?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's Jillian Michaels. Yeah.
Jillian
Oh my
Michaels
god, this is like a nightmare blunt rotation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for the chat who doesn't know, Jillian Michaels is the star of Nintendo Switch, or excuse me, Nintendo Wii and DS games, Fitness Ultimatum 2009, Jillian Michaels Fitness Ultimatum 2010, and Jillian Michaels Fitness Ultimatum 2011. I think that the 2011 version you could use the Wii balance board with her game. Don't quote me on that though. But so she's in the video gaming world. I'm sure she has a lot to say about the industry lately, the layoffs and whatnot. But
wait, is that really how you know her? Mike?
Oh, she got all of that from being on The Biggest Loser, right? It was
Biggest
like the
Loser,
Biggest
yes.
Loser.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah.
like
was the- yeah.
even a
Wait,
pretty
okay.
well-licensed career in fitness video games for Wii specifically. So
I thought Mike was
Shovelware.
joking at first, but then he
Yes.
started talking about her in the gaming industry, and I was like, wait, he's getting a little bit too serious with this. Does he really think that's what she's known for?
I've seen
Yeah,
those memes. They're
everything
all
I'm
real.
saying is 100% correct. The
Yes.
reason why I emphasize the games is because that's where I have the most exposure to her, because I know that she was on The Biggest Loser, but I would always like, when I worked at Blockbuster, I'd see her face on the games, and she just had a smug face, and I didn't like her because of her face. And I feel like I could say that because I have a very punchable smug face as well. But hers, there was something about it where I felt like she was judging me, and I knew that she was on the show The Biggest Loser, so it's like, oh, I'm more fit than you. Fuck you, lady. Like, I don't know. It just she rubs me the wrong way for numerous reasons, and now her politics gives me an actual.
And now you have an
legitimate
actual
reason to hate her.
reason.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't feel like just a
Honestly,
dickhead.
The fact that she's still able to get work and she's relevant is beyond me, because The Biggest Loser was one of probably the most detrimental shows during that time. I mean, it really promoted it normalized crazy diet culture, and the fact that she's getting this show with Anna.
Well, it's a
and
right wing show.
Lindsay
It's perfect.
Lee.
It's the perfect funnel.
Yeah, but this is like, they're all nut jobs. Like, they're all nut jobs in their own way. Like, this is crazy. Who's funding this? What is the funding behind it?
The
Oh,
PBD.
It's
Yeah.
Valuetainment. Yep.
It's Valuetainment. Absolutely.
The PBD people.
It's Paul's Dick
Patrick
podcast.
Bet David.
Patrick
Who's
Bet
that?
Davis.
You know PBD? You know PBD.
No.
I'm sure you'd recognize him if you've seen him from clips,
Yes, you
because bringing on reactionaries to his show and stuff. But essentially, it started out as a kind of like investment for the boys style show. Here's some like investment tips and how to be successful in your career and be an entrepreneur. And it evolved into a culture war show very, very quickly, where it's now just talking about woke ideology and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I will
So
say,
this is really weird.
Are you gonna play the clip?
yeah.
Let's
I have a
be
couple more
Valuetained.
critiques.
I want to be Valuetained.
I
Valuetain
will
me.
say I appreciate them going with the cheap chairs. These are $90 on Amazon. I have them, but I did not pay for the armrest. That's what I'm sitting on right now. They're not very comfortable, but they're affordable.
They look very high.
They look very high, yeah. And I love how, as somebody who has fucked up lighting in my studio, this is not working. They need to change the color of this. And change
Yeah.
the lighting.
No, the fact that you can't
Yeah.
read the logo is probably gonna
Yeah,
do with
it's
lighting.
just very amateur, and the video, like the ratio of the video, is all fucked up as well. I don't know who's doing this, but this is like a fucking I don't know, Mickey Mouse operation. This is all fucked up.
For
But
me,
the
though, like
commentary,
low production isn't even the issue. It's just like have your own style. Like this is ripping off the View.
Right.
Like the View has that desk. That's the same kind of desk they have
Yeah,
with the
I'll
half
pull it up.
circle. Like do your own thing. Like, what is this?
yeah, David, Like, it's literally the same desk.
Yes.
Let me pull it in.
If you watch the clip, it's mostly like what you would expect from like 4 years ago, ripping into LGBTQ plus people, just them being like, and now there's pronouns. You got to learn new letters in the alphabet. And what is two-spirit? Lol, kick. Like that's the whole show.
Yeah,
Some of the stuff they chose to share in their promos, downright fucking hilarious to me. So there's a lot. Like, this is, I don't know how long. It's a minute. But there's a lot in here, so I'll shut up and play it. I'm sorry. I have to endlessly critique it before. And I love the ferns on the side, like, you know, Zach Galifianakis energy. There's just so fucking much. This is boomer energy, but
Welcome to Her Take, where real conversation happens.
Let me just take a step back and ask a broader question. I'm actually with Trump on this. It's one of the reasons why I left the Democratic Party.
Let's talk about the mistake, though, Lindy. Let's talk about the mistake for a second, okay? He had a legitimate asylum claim.
Intersex, pansexual, true spirit. What the heck is a true spirit?
Give it to me in English and then dumb it down to 6th grade levels. Wake up in the morning and I have
I have to pause it right there. This is so fucking funny to me. In their
Why would you say that?
in their promo, she's like, listen, if you're gonna tell me something, talk very, very slowly. I'm a fucking dumbass. So
Not
dumb
even
it
slow.
down. Don't
Not
use
even
any
just
big
slowly.
words.
You need to. My children are smarter than me. You need to get it at a level lower than the grade they are in. I mean,
and is she saying this in response to intersex? Like she doesn't know what intersex is? If it's that,
I also feel like
they're making jokes about two-spirit people, and then Anna goes on to make another joke.
Yeah,
about
it's terrible.
two-spirit
But
people.
I feel like they're
like 4-year-old conservative content, right? They're doing a lot of like, hey, we're going to be racist towards indigenous people. We're going to be bigoted towards LGBTQ plus people. Like that's,
and it doesn't even come off as genuine. Like to me, like it really feels like they're forcing the enthusiasm or the anger here. Like it's not coming off as authentic to me. But
yeah,
they're all chasing the right-wing money anyway, so I guess that makes sense.
And I'm sorry, the white text with the white like clothing and whatnot, and the white aesthetic.
So bad. It's so
you need to put a background here. I mean, this is just like video editing 101. Like this is rookie shit. This is why you could tell none of them like actually did their own show. They always had people do shit for them. Like do it for me. They don't have to investigate how to make it their own. Or
but
whatever.
they're not doing the show.
They're
either.
not doing this either. They just
Valuetainment taking care of this.
That's true.
Valuetainment.
Are you not valuetainment?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Ariana. What was that?
So is Anna still doing TYT and she's on this like weirdo debate right-wing show?
I think so, yeah.
As far as I
assume
yeah.
so.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't leave TYT for this if I was her.
I mean, I know.
Blow up. We're talking shit. People love like, you know, liberals and the progressives debate conservatives about social issues. Like people love that stuff.
Yeah.
Making points.
I know people
What's
love
funny?
it, but it's like, isn't it a like clash of interest for the establishment of TYT? Like, I'm surprised Chink is letting this happen.
I mean, they probably view it as she's getting out there in front of an audience that isn't their audience.
Oh, absolutely.
To Ariana's point,
yeah.
To Ariana's point, Jenk made Hassan choose between Twitch and TYT.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, like there have been people before who wanted to go off and do their own thing, and Jake gave them an ultimatum, and they most of the time ultimately ended up leaving. But this is weird that he's letting her do this, and she's still at TYT.
Yeah,
I mean, TYT is in a different place now. Before they could, live in their walled garden because they had the audience maybe, and now they don't have that same audience, so they need to spread their wings and get their tentacles out there, so more people they drive more people to the channel. That can be the case, honestly.
They're spreading their wings a lot, and it's not helping them. I will say that. Well, one thing I have to point out, I'm a little bit offended that they're snubbing my girl Brianna Wu. How is she not on this panel? She's a perfect
she probably
fit.
will be. It says I think it's a rotating or they have different people come on. I don't know if these are the 4 people all the time. I mean, maybe a few of them are on all the time, but it could be. Maybe not. I don't know.
I looked at the comments to the YouTube version of this video, and there was a bunch of people praising it on Lindy Lee's channel anyway. And I saw one comment that was the only more negative comment was, "Yeah, I love all these women except for Anna Kasperi." And I'm like, "Oh shit, she's not blending in."
This is just on. This is just on Lindy Lee's channel. It's not.
I
on
think
a
it has its own channel, but it's also on Lindy Lee's. The preview is, anyways.
That's how you know it's not going to be successful. What morons would host a show together, but then have their own version of it on their own channels and not drive everyone to the same channel?
What kind of clowns would do that kind of thing?
You got to spam people's sub boxes. That's how you get the word out.
You got me there for a second. I was like, oh no, I'm so called out.
All right, so we made it to 25 seconds in. I'm sorry. I'll try not to pause it. It was so good though. I had to intervene.
Spirit. So are they really marginalized? Can I borrow? Like,
oh, I have to pause again. I'm so sorry. She's asking if two-spirit people are really marginalized. This is indigenous trans people that I guess she pretends she doesn't know about.
And non-binary people as well.
Right.
It's one of those things where she's like right away went to a joke where she's like, I have no spirit. What, you think you're marginalized? And just like, lol, kick. Wow, again. And that's why I said it's like
lazy.
This would have been on a right. This is like Stephen Crowder tier, right? Like this is what you would have seen Stephen Crowder show 4 years ago, kind of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. We're now debating whether or not indigenous people in North America are marginalized. That's where we're at. Really? We just erase everything that we've learned.
First of all, two-spirit people have existed in indigenous communities for thousands of years. This isn't a new concept, but also what really built a divide, because I was always very curious about this, what built a divide between the acceptance of being two-spirited and not was actually colonialism when it came and they were force-feeding Christianity to everyone, and Christianity does not accept this idea of being two-spirited or trans or non-binary or etc. So I just think for Anna to be looking like Casper the Ghost in this fucking clip, making fun of two-spirited people, is really rich, because she's actually like literally living on stolen land. She's living on indigenous land. I think this is like mad disrespectful. And like for her to laugh like that, it actually like this really made me like my blood boil. Like this is really fucked up. I think she's a piece of shit for this, quite frankly.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And they wanted to put this in the trailer. They're like, this is the bits. This is
they have
good
to show some levity. Look, they laugh too.
Yeah.
They're laughing and
have a good time.
Sorry, and I'm just gonna say, no, you're fine. This just really fired me up. I just want to say they all have a lot of proximity to whiteness, and that's where I'm gonna leave it at. Because Anna Kasparian can say she's Armenian all she wants, she still has a lot of proximity to whiteness. Lindy Lee has a lot of proximity to whiteness. They all have a lot of proximity to whiteness. So I don't think they should ever open their mouths about two-spirited people ever, period, or indigenous people. Like, it's just not their place. So I don't know. That would just really piss me off.
How are you gonna get the clicks though? Come on, the trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you kill two birds with one stone, right? You can make fun of trans and non-binary people and indigenous people as well. And if anybody tries to, say anything about it, it's like, well, I didn't know. That's the whole point. We were goofing because we're just out of touch. We don't know what the kids are talking about these days. It's new to me, therefore I can feign ignorance, and that could be entertaining. Because I guess you want to watch somebody like explain how stupid they are about it or unknowledgeable they are about something. Who wants to watch that? That's insane to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I will be the first one to say that birth control destroyed my life. The goal is to create lifelong.
I'm going to need so much more context here.
Oh, you got to watch Anna and Jank's interview with her where she goes into detail. It's part of her origin story. And when she started to realize certain things about, like, they go into, why did you used to talk about environmental issues so much? Why were you, like, pro-choice and all this other stuff? And she's like, I really started to realize, like, because I had a really bad negative experience with birth control, that, maybe I'd been lied to, especially by people within the Democratic Party, what our beliefs are all about. And that led me down to, doing my own research, which, yeah. And again, it's one of those situations where, like, I'm watching that interview and I'm like, well, I'm a cis man, so I'm not going to mansplain the situation, but I am going to say that that's just an unusual thing to be like. That doesn't justify going bigoted towards other people, though, right? Like, you can't really use that as. And that's why it's okay for me to support MAGA and make sure immigrants are locked up, because of my own personal bad experience with birth control.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Medical patients, because that is passive residual income for them every week, every month, till the end of that person's life. You've got real conversations that happen here, different voices.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I have no idea. It was out of context.
Very weird clip. When I hear someone talk about passive income, I don't think of a political news talk show. I think of one of those YouTube online marketing scam ads. Do you
Might not
want
be too
passive
far off.
income?
Passive? Whoa, that's the best kind.
For just $1,000 a month, we will teach you everything you need to know to make $1,500 a month.
Collide, clash, and sometimes even connect. There are no scripts, no echo chambers, and just smart and spirited debates. Ladies,
Yeah.
are you ready to jump in?
Let's do
ready?
this.
Welcome to
Valuetainment.
her.
Wow. Well, I was valuetained, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
So the episode comes out tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Gay makeup artist deported.
Poor transphobic Karens. LOL. LMFO, you're such a grifting hack. Goddamn.
You're
So it
really
seems
rolling
like
the
the
dice,
reception-
scrolling through comments on Twitter.
Oh, that's true. That is very dangerous.
Yeah, you're only a matter of time before seeing something horrifying.
You might see a swastika or a dick. You never know what's going to jump out at you. Yeah, so I'll be watching that. I think it looks great. I'm really happy for Annika Sparian for venturing out and really leaning into her more conservative views. Not like she hasn't been doing that on TYT, but good for you, Queen. Get that money. I don't think this is a paid gig, probably, but we'll see. I don't know.
I mean, it probably is. What are you kidding me? I mean, why would any of these people agree to do
That's
this?
true. It is valuetainment.
And Patrick Bet Davis is a wealthy guy. He's got money. He's got value. He allegedly
He's the
ran
MLM
a
guy, right?
MLM, yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Started out in MLMs.
All right,
He knows.
Respect. An MLM tried to recruit me, by the way, before. It was really funny and creepy. When I was working at Blockbuster and they were going out of business, we were bought by Dish and they made us sell Dish. And so this guy scheduled an appointment so I can pitch him Dish. And I did the pitch for Dish. We used to get I think $50 if we signed somebody up. So I put in my best effort. And he's like, he pretended to be interested. And then he's like, I'll be honest with you. I'll cut to the chase. I just think you're a great salesman. I'm not interested in Dish, but let me give you my card. I have a job offer for you. And I'm like, oh, what is it? And he's like, I won't, let's just talk. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like thinking maybe he's trying to be respectful because he's trying to pitch to me at my place of employment. So then I call later on because I'm like, okay, I fucking hate this place and we're going out of business. So, then I still don't get any information. He's like, so we're doing interviews. It's just like roundtable interviews. It's at this place. I looked it up. It was like a warehouse. I'm like, oh shit, are they trying to drug me and like kidnap me or some shit? And then the more he talked, the more I'm like, oh, this is a pyramid scheme. Like you're trying to. So
It's an upside down triangle. Come on.
Yeah. So eventually, I think that they called me and left me a message. And I'm like, bro, this is a pyramid scheme. Fuck off. And it's not a pyramid scheme. Like they were adamant it wasn't a pyramid scheme. It was 1,000% a pyramid scheme. So yeah, it's funny. It's funny. That's my experience with MLM. So maybe it was the Valuetainment one, Patrick Bet Davids. If that was his pyramid scheme trying to recruit me before I was doing the Humanist Report, that's actually really that's cool. I should find out. I have no way of finding out, but.
Maybe.
Should I talk briefly about Canada since the election happened?
Oh yeah, right. I want to hear about
week.
this. Actually, explain what's going on.
And so the Liberals were in power for about 9 years, and so let's go back to 2015. Trudeau won a majority government against Stephen Harper's Conservatives, who were themselves in power for I think 10 years at the time. Flash to COVID. That's around the time when Trudeau, I should say post-COVID, after people got help and things were starting to die down a bit, is when he really started to lose support, or the Liberals generally. And then Poilievre became leader of the Conservative Party in 22. And it was really just a steady stream of Poilievre, like his whole personality is an attack dog. He just spent 2 years attacking Trudeau over and over, like on every possible thing, making up things. To the point where Trudeau became very unpopular. Like when you have the opposition party just focusing all their attacks on him for so long, that's going to happen. So they kind of shot themselves in the feet because during the time of his least popularity, so December, that's when Chrystia Freeland, his second in command, decided to step down when there was about to be a cabinet shuffle, and she did not agree with the decision to take her off of finance. So she came out against him. That's when he said he's taking about 2 weeks to think about what to do next. So they Trudeau, after the new year, decided to step down. That's when there was a Liberal leadership race, and this is around the time when the Liberal fortunes began to completely shift. So the combination of Trudeau stepping down and then Mark Carney eventually winning that leadership race, and Donald Trump playing the biggest role he has ever played in Canada, essentially turning around the fortunes of the Liberal Party with his threats of annexation, 51st state, Governor Trudeau, and of course the trade war, led to Canadians going back to the Liberals. Or I should say it's not even necessarily that they took conservative votes, though they did. It's that there was a complete collapse of the NDP, which is the left of center party in Canada, where a lot of those voters thought or decided this time that we can't risk having someone like Pierre Poilievre lead the country in this time of crisis. So we're going to go with Mark Carney, who is a central banker. He was the bank governor of Canada during the 2008 financial crisis. Then he went to the UK and Brexit happened. He was there during Brexit and helped them through that. And he's worked at Goldman Sachs. He's the kind of guy who you would, in any other time, you would think would not be popular. Like, the moment that the U.S. is having in terms of this anti-elite sentiment also exists in Canada. But we are in such a unique time with Donald Trump that a lot of Canadians just felt, here's a guy who seems competent compared to the other potential prime minister in Pierre Poilievre, who definitely is not competent. So the vote coalesced, and the Liberals ended up winning the election. Or I should say a minority. I believe there are 168 seats now. It was 169. I think they just lost one in the recount. But 168, a majority would be 172, so just shy of a majority. The NDP collapsed completely down to 7 seats, but that also means that they could hold some power here in terms of the Liberals wanted to get anything passed. They may need the help of the NDP or the Bloc Québécois, which has a lot more seats. I think around 20 or 20 plus. But these are two parties, the Bloc Québécois and the NDP, that are more willing to work with the Liberals compared to the Conservatives. Hello, Rebecca. So,
hi, David. I'm sorry. I'm just coming in late. But David, look at your face because I've missed it. I have missed it so much.
I know. I haven't seen you for probably a month. Good to see you.
I know, but it's so nice to hear your voice and to see your face. I just wanted to say that. Okay,
we're all here together
so nice.
again. It's been a while.
This is a full cast.
But so Liberals won the election, and we're
so happy.
We're going to see where things go from here. There's been some talk potentially of some NDP MPs maybe considering crossing the aisle to the Liberals, but I would be surprised if that happened, at least so soon.
No.
Sorry, Lance?
Jenny Kwan said no. She was the one. She's
the one that was on. Yeah.
She was. I voted for Jenny Kwan. She said that she's not going to do that. Oh.
Yeah. So it is going to be a liberal minority government. But when you have two other parties willing to work with you, that may last, a year or two. We'll see.
All I can say is that I'm not happy that Mark Carney won. I'm happy that PP lost, and I'm glad that PP lost. And not only did PP lose, he lost his own seat. He's not allowed inside.
The Conservative Party leader lost his own seat.
Yeah, the leader of the
Conservative Party that Mark Carney
wasn't elected, right? Like he was prime minister before he had a seat. So is Pierre Poilievre going to step down now because he's not elected?
Like in a normal situation, I think he would because of the shame. It's just deeply shameful to not only go. It's the biggest upset in Canadian history. It went like this to this, right? It was like, well, more like that, but it basically just reversed course completely. So that alone would shame a lot of people into stepping down. But then losing your seat as an MP and not being allowed in Parliament when it opens back up is really funny. Which means someone else is going to have to speak on his behalf, right? Like Andrew Scheer is probably. Who speaks up and is like, well, Pierre cannot be here. He will be he essentially has to go win a by-election somewhere. That's really easy.
This is how we should frame it. He has to be given a handout. He has to have someone else give up their seat for him, and then he has to win a by-election in a safe riding, I assume, because he's not going to go somewhere where he could lose an election.
How do they determine who gives up their seat, though? Like, it's got to be the party leadership, right? Because nobody would willingly give up their seat in
Gotta
parliament.
separate the wheat from the chaff. That you've seen House of Cards. Who's ever the weakest? The weakest link. It's honestly, like David said, it'll be where it's the easiest to win. So it'll be an MP in a riding where it's low voter turnout, but a conservative lock, and they just basically step down, and then they have a by-election, and then he takes that seat.
Is there any talk of
at the same
Pierre
time, the MP
stepping
has
down?
to agree to it, right? Like it's not they can't just steal a seat from somebody.
Oh,
So
okay.
unless there could be internal pressure, I imagine that's possible. But yeah, no, it's a hilarious situation. At the same time, it's worth noting the conservatives, even though they lost that massive lead they had from January, they still performed well. I believe they got
they gained 16 seats.
Yeah, they gained a bunch of seats. They had more votes in terms of the popular vote this time since 2011, which is when they were in government, or I think they had a majority at the time. So like there's oddly like big growth within the Conservative Party, even though they lost, because a lot of that vote for the Liberals came from the NDP, and this was essentially a two-party race, which is that doesn't normally. I mean, to be clear, in terms of who's going to form government, it is almost always a two-party race. But in terms of just the seat totals, you usually have an NDP that doesn't lose party status like they did this time. So it is I do think it's a unique situation for this time. I do think if we, hopefully if there's a day when Trump is no longer the U.S. president, I think we'll get back to a Canadian election that is a little more normal. Yeah.
Yes.
I heard that a lot of young people voted for conservatives.
Young men,
young men. Yeah.
What is I know that's kind of happening around the world, where young men are kind of gravitating towards conservatives. Do you all know why?
It's economically based. It's if you've grown up as a Gen Zer, you lived under 9 to 10 years of the Liberals, and that entire time, housing has become more unaffordable. You've seen the amount of people on 1 in 4 Canadians have food insecurity now. You've seen massive wealth inequality grow. So all of this is happening. If you're young and you're a man and you're going online looking for answers, well, there's a whole bunch of people who've got great answers for you. Just across.
A lot of them are very unfortunate.
Go to the US and they do the exact same things, and they'll tell you about how there's no such thing as a patriarchy, that women control the world and they manipulate men, and it's all in reverse. And that I don't know if you knew about the IQ rates of different ethnicities. Some people are naturally, smarter.
It's worth noting that in terms of demographics, 65 plus was the biggest support base for the Liberals, was 65 plus.
Oh, really?
Which as someone who covers a lot of American politics, very surprising to see that the older you got, the more liberal you were likely to vote in this election, because normally we know that does not tend to be the case.
I wonder why that is, with for at least in y'all country.
Yeah, but I think honestly we don't have Fox News. I think that's we have we have an electorate where people are more aware and they want stability. Like we're in a time where people that are older are more comfortable. They have their home already, so the affordability crisis didn't hit them as bad as it hit younger people. So there's no worries there that are the same as the young. So without that worry there, you're looking at an election where you have one guy who's out of his fucking mind. He's not Trump, but he's Ron DeSantis, and you have Mark Carney, who comes off as measured. Again, there are fair criticisms of Mark Carney, of course, but in terms of the way he comes off, a guy who's measured, he's not outlandish, he's very soft spoken. He is somebody who is from finance, is someone who has dealt with crisis in his past in terms of Brexit.
Because I agree.
Sorry,
I really don't like him.
Yeah, he's got no riz. He's very boring to listen to.
He's also he's authentically a banker. You know what I mean? Like he's not trying to be a working class hero like Pierre Poilievre was trying to be when he has a 20-year record. Pierre Poilievre does of fighting against the working class and voting against unions. So Pierre Poilievre came off as so fake because he was being fake, whereas Mark Carney wasn't trying to be anybody except a central banker. He was just being who he was, and I think that worked for him.
I kind of just want to talk about Gen Z really quick. So there's a study that NBC published pretty recently. It was a couple days ago, and Gen Z has the biggest divide between genders when it comes to political ideology. So Gen Z women and young millennial women are going heavily towards progressive and leftist views, and men are going heavily towards right-wing views. And I do want to add on to what you said. It is economical because back in the 1930s, we went from 1920s was the flapper era where women were very flamboyant and, you know, really kind of defying those restrictions that society had put for them, right? They were cutting their hair short just to kind of like, you know, stick it to the man. But then when the 1930s Great Depression happened, we reverted into conservatism, not just like politically but socially as well. And so we went from flapper to women wearing very modest clothing, muted colors, and we're seeing that right now, like literally happen in real time. And so this has historically happened as well, but also we have a media that is really well funded when it comes to Republicans, and we just don't have a lot of channels that do left wing media. We have Hassan Piker, TYT is one of the bigger ones, and we already know which route they're going, and Majority Report, and that's basically it. Like everyone else is Republican. So I think it's actually kind of like fueling fire, like adding fuel to the fire. But I will say when economic downturn happens, a lot of men, especially the younger men, they psychologically go into this like, I need to be a conservative, you know, man and really make money and prove myself, you know what I mean? And this is exactly what happened in the 1930s. So it's kind of just like history repeating itself in its own way. But that's also why we have a male loneliness epidemic and why so many women are not dating anymore, because there's such a divide in the younger generation when it comes to political ideology. They can't stand each other. And it's starting to become like a bigger and bigger and bigger issue. So yeah,
that makes sense.
There's also more women graduating from, or actually not dropping out of university. They're graduating at higher levels in a lot of high-paying sectors, and so this like gender like roles reversing that is happening in real time. There's going to be a lot of men who are basically left behind and looking for answers again online in the weirdest places. And I think the reason that people like Andrew Tate and all those people are so effective at recruiting them is because it's already the same gendered stereotypes that all of us have from birth, right? Whether you know it or not, you know, your parents are most likely being like, well, if you're a man, you do this, and if you're a woman, you do that. You're into this thing, you're into that thing. So it makes sense when you're like, the world is fucked. I'm working hard, but like capitalism is beating me down. I want to try and, you know, make it. So what's wrong? Is it the Matrix? Have I not taken the red pill? Am I trapped? Like,
yeah. You also have men like they feel like their manliness is threatened because women are competitive and they're beating men. Quite frankly, you know, they're outpacing them at college and jobs, and so they feel as if
there's a complete lack of there's a complete lack of manufacturing jobs, right? Like, you know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that wasn't the case. So that sort of blue collar job isn't as prevalent as it once was. So if you're not in the office, if you don't have a white collar job, you know, if you're not in that kind of work or don't care to do that kind of work, you're kind of left behind. And so there's definitely, I think that leads to the separation as well, and why a lot of young men are just kind of lost.
I think
and
yeah, sorry, go ahead, Rebecca.
No, you guys are so right. I think even for over here, like we know that historically it's been where men have been to lead, like you guys are talking about, like that whole mindset. Even the people who are in office right now, all of the leaders are people who still have that, where we're white, we're men, and you know, I don't care how smart you are, I don't care, you need to be in the household, you know, bearing the kids and doing all of that. And even with the little things throughout the years after that were made different for women, where they can go to work, but they still have to go to work and still come home and cook. And now where we are, I think it's like Ariana was saying, it's so different because men will choose, like I feel like men are choosing to be conservative thinking, not because they want to be or whatever, but just because they feel like they need to put a woman in her place. I've heard so many men, especially during the elections, you know, say things like, oh, you know, he wants a woman to be a woman and a man to be a man. And it's like men that never went out to try to go work nowhere, like never try to get no kind of job, never, nothing. Don't have any marital concept, even if it was conservative, nothing. But because they feel like he or the conservatives have this, this powerful idea of how, men should be the patriarchy, all of that. Men who don't even do anything towards patriarchy or to even lift it up, just believe like, okay, he's going to put women in his place, in their place. And so that's why they just leaned over that way. And that's why I think a lot of women are like, I ain't about to have your kid. I'm not about to be at the house I'm outside, right? I'm outside working. I'm outside making my own coin. I don't want to be married. I want to be married, but not to what we have here with these men who, it's a whole bunch of them. I've seen them in every community, not only the white men. I'm talking about Black, immigrant, even LGBTQIA plus, whatever it is, the vintage ones. They have this idea that they have to be so conservative and women should have their certain place in the whole spectrum. So I think that's why too, even me, I'm literally going to be 35 in a week and a half. And my mindset is I cannot push out anybody's big head baby in this I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
Yeah, it seems like the way, like my interpretation of it is that if they can restore like the old traditional patriarchal order where like women were in the kitchen and men were the breadwinners, then that's kind of how they can restore their own glory. Which is why I think you kind of see like this push for like trad wife culture, birthright and stuff like that. And a lot of it, like the overarching thing, as Ariana was kind of pointing to, is like the materialism. Like it goes back to, I think, the materialism versus post-materialism. When you look at developing countries, they don't make a lot of social progress because their material needs aren't met. They're worried about security, housing. But when they start to develop, like in China, you start to see them focus more on social justice issues. You start to see burgeoning queer communities emerge. But, we had that understanding of like developing countries and why it takes them a while for them to progress socially. But it seems like, we're kind of, it works in the opposite direction too. So when like your material status declines, then so too does like the social status and equality, because that's all like it's all interconnected, and it's happening everywhere. So I think global capitalism is taking a fucking toll on everyone, and that's
the two lies you get with conservatism, right? It's that the meritocracy is real and that there are strict gender binary roles that you have to fulfill. And then when it turns out that one of those isn't true, because the meritocracy isn't real, you still have to fulfill your duty as a man and make it and get out there, be an earner, and you got to be a protector and a provider and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, that's getting harder and harder just to do any of the things. Like, you want me to get married? That's what is that? $20,000, $30,000, $40,000? You want me to buy a house? What do I have? $200,000 sitting around? You want me to have a kid?
200,000, baby. Where I live at, it's like $500,000 to buy a raggedy house.
Yeah. Well, I'm just talking about the down payment. The down payment.
The down. Okay, talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, I love how did you all see on TikTok? So a bunch of people were reacting to the potential plan for Trump to give, and this is never going to come to fruition, but there was this idea of giving young couples $5,000 for having a kid, and people on TikTok were like, "You want me to have a kid for $5,000? Excuse me? How about you give me diapers for life or like free daycare?" If you really want to incentivize us to have kids, because this whole traditionalism that you want us to go back to is not economically feasible anymore.
No, let's be honest. I was thinking the other day,
it is amazing though that they want to give that, they don't want to, because it's not going to happen, but they're floating the idea of $5,000 for having a kid to make themselves look good. Yet these are the same people who want to kick women and children off of like whatever social safety net welfare programs there are. They don't
leaving them alone.
They don't care. They don't care. They want to give you they want to give you the $5,000 for carrying a fetus, because that's what they care about, because the second that baby's born, we know that they don't give a shit about the baby. That's how they are.
Like,
no,
that's the target.
No, those programs are created literally. They'll be like, this is what conservatives do. I think this is just America in general, but they'll be like, have that baby. We got you. right? We got these programs. We have that for you. As soon as you had that baby, you can't even, you told them that you couldn't have it, but they tell you to have it. Like, listen, abortion is an option. I'm going to go ahead with that or whatever. And they're like, no, we'll take that from you. Have that baby. We got you. And then they're taking away those programs. And then they put, now your baby's in foster care or whatever. And we know how, well, foster care in America is not the best. I got a best friend who was in foster care, and there's trauma there. There's all kinds of stuff that happened within that system, but they're never helpful. All of the programs that they swear up and now they're going to help you, they're not going to help you raise your kid. Have that baby. And then, as soon as possible, you ain't got no programs to feed that baby. You can't house that baby. No, nothing. You go to work. You can't bring that baby to daycare because daycare is $1,000 a week. When I was in college, one of my girlfriends was a mother, and at that time in college, I was a freshman in 2007 in college. She had a baby. That time, she was literally putting her baby in daycare weekly for $800. We had no money.
Insane.
We had no money at all to, even in student housing, everything was super expensive. Nothing. And America is just like, have that baby, we'll take care of it. As soon as you got the baby, you're on your own. We will give you like $5,000 in programs for you to utilize for about 2 months. Other than that, you're on your own.
And then there's rolling back WIC. Like you expect us to believe
and then
that
there's
you're going to get
criticisms of that though.
$5,000.
They're saying, oh, that's my tax money. That's this and that. You can't. But they're literally using your tax money for worse. And you are so worried about all of this. It's terrible how it's framed here. Have the baby with America swears up and down that they are going to help you move forward through your process and those type of things. And it's never that. Especially I was thinking about what earlier I was going to say, like with housing. I mention this often because it's ridiculous. Your money, like your income isn't going up, but everything else is. Housing, eggs, groceries, all this stuff is going up. And I remember when I first moved where I moved, it was in 2020. From then to now, I pay almost $1,000, if not $1,000 more in rent. $1,000 more. $1,000 more.
And your house didn't get any bigger.
No,
cost of living didn't get any cheaper.
It came with an extra room now.
Yeah.
Nothing. And then I have the management, all the amenities that we had then that were very helpful during COVID. They took them all away, everything away. And then like we essentially have nothing, like none of the same things. And they will tell me, stay here for another few years or stay here for another year. And we will, all you got to pay is $300 more. And that's how it was every single year. There was never any cap. You grandfathered in. Here in Georgia, in Metro Atlanta, it's literally like, oh no, we're gonna make some money some kind of way. Y'all not paying rent for some of the people because the moratorium for at that time for people who couldn't pay rent.
Right.
They were like, no, y'all not paying rent. We'll figure it out. So then I was like, you know what? Let me look into, right now I ain't got no job, I ain't got nothing, but let me look into buying a house. Let me get on Zillow. And I was like, what the house is going for? What the house is going for? Baby, the houses are ridiculous. I'm like, and then people were saying once Donald Trump gets into office, right? Everything is the minute he gets into office, he's gonna make the housing be cheaper. He's going to make groceries be cheaper. He's going to make sure gas is such and such. He's going to make sure I have healthcare. He did every single thing in 2 seconds within 100 days, except for that. All the things that he was preaching about, none of those things are done.
All the good stuff.
Yeah. We're suffering.
Every category.
I looked at my childhood home that I grew up in North Portland. My parents bought it in like the early 90s when I was just a toddler. It was like $50,000 at the time.
Oh my God.
Maybe cheaper. And I looked up the current price on Zillow, and it's now over $500,000.
You see?
It's absolutely
$500,000 is really cheap.
That sounds amazing in Canada, by the way.
Well, I mean, it's not the best, but I mean, like
$2 million in Canada.
$50,000 per house.
Look, well, we have the highest cost of housing out of all the G7 countries. Like it's not even close. Like it's crazy here. Luckily, part of the liberal plan is to build housing. We'll see if he follows through. But it's
public housing or
Well, I was reading into it. He didn't really harp on this, maybe because he didn't want to be called like a crazy communist or something. But social housing is in the plan, so he's gonna create what's called Build Canada Homes, which sounds like a crown corp. Again, he's not being specific about the about calling it like categorizing it, but so he's gonna have this thing Build Canada Homes, where essentially they're gonna oversee the building of 500,000 homes a year. A lot of it's going to be prefabs. That way they can build quickly. Of course, Canadian lumber, Canadian jobs. So I hope that it sounds like sort of like a New Deal era kind of plan. I hope that he follows through with this and that the NDP maybe even push him further with social housing, because this is something that we need desperately. The cost of housing here is absolutely insane.
I don't know
you
how
mentioned
people can survive.
Just on childcare, because you mentioned childcare, Rebecca, earlier. Liberals get a lot of shit for good reason, for a lot of reasons, but Trudeau, like the cost of childcare for me was cut by more than half because of $10 a day childcare. So when I first started paying childcare, it was like $300 a week or something. It was insane.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
It was just like nuts, and now it's $100 a week, and
That's beautiful too.
that's directly because of the Liberal plan to do that. Not to mention there's expanding maternity leave from 12 months to 18 months, which doesn't, I want to be clear, doesn't expand how much you're given. It just spreads it out, but still you could take work off for an extra 6 months.
Wow.
And we took advantage of that. So there's, a lot of things here where you would think, hey, this is Liberal Party, this is center right, but certain things are sort of expected here, that your government is able to take care of you in some ways. And I discussed dental care earlier. There are things that they have done that they should be given credit for, but also worth noting, the NDP, the party to the left of them, pushed them on all of those issues and is the reason why a lot of that stuff got done, especially as well during COVID. The help that people got here during COVID was because the NDP pushed them. So, and that was while Pierre Poilievre was calling out, hey, we can't be spending too much money to help people during this pandemic. So it was just sort of this, like, again, a lot of these, there was so much during the election that I wish, I guess didn't need to be discussed because he lost anyways, but people need to be reminded of like who Pierre Poilievre was and what he fought for and what he didn't fight for. Like this is a guy who voted against same-sex marriage, like one of his first votes when he first came in, against same-sex marriage, voted against cannabis legalization, voted against dental care, voted against pharmacare.
His father is gay.
Yeah, his father was.
Oh,
his father's gay, as he voted against same-sex
That's
marriage.
fuck you to your father. Wow.
Yeah.
I know your father and his new partner.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like a gay wedding.
so it's there's just I hope we continue pushing forward this these sorts of policies, because this is why the Liberals were able to maintain as long as they maintained, even though the affordability crisis kind of screwed them the past couple of years. But people need help, like especially now as things get more expensive.
I was curious. I wanted to ask Ariana about, because she was talking about the Gen Z poll. So I saw one poll. I can't remember which one. I don't know if you could speak to this, but it showed like a divide in Gen Z based on like age brackets. So there was the younger Gen Zs. I can't remember if this was men or women, from like 18
I
to
know what you're
20
talking
something, where they were much more conservative than the older Gen Zs. Is
Like
there
something like
an explanation for
18
that?
something like 18 to 24 is much more conservative than like the Gen Z who are like 24 to whatever the millennial cutoff is. Like they're more in line with like what
Right.
the millennial position on conservative and progressive are, and like the youngest of the Gen Z are the most right wing.
Right.
Yeah.
How is there like that big of a divide within a generation that's so sharp and like so close in age?
Have you guys watched the show Adolescence on Netflix?
Yeah, it's good. First episode's
Yeah.
really good.
I've heard of it. I know of it. I feel like it seems too depressing for me to want to watch it, but
It is pretty depressing. So I think so I can only like make my best guess, but I think what happened was that a lot of the Andrew Tate red pill content really got to young men who are already pretty insecure. So like when we're talking about young men, so this happened to one of my brother's friends. He basically really good kid, but grew up, struggling, right? Grew up pretty poor, had like multiple siblings, parents, disabilities, they don't work, whatever. And he kind of started listening to Andrew Tate as a way to motivate himself and go to the gym and live a better lifestyle, right? And he started going down this hole of just like getting completely red pilled, like to the point where he was saying things that my brother was like, all right, listen, like I can't do this anymore. Like, you're too extreme. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And I think that was like a wake up call for him. So he kind of pulled himself out of it. But he was insecure, grew up with a poor background, and he was susceptible to kind of like getting lured into the red pill content. And I think we're seeing a lot of that with younger men, especially when they're more in more vulnerable spaces, which a lot of people are. I mean, like 70% of America lives paycheck to paycheck. So I'm sure there's a lot of young boys, because when I was growing up, the Andrew Tates didn't exist in a way where they were like doing red pill content, but specifically making it for young Gen Z men, right? This is a very new phenomenon that has just started recently, like in the past couple of years. And so I think we're really starting to see it when it comes to the trajectory of how the younger generation, when it comes to 18 to 24, is really thinking, because they kind of grew up with that Andrew Tate. And if you come from a poor background and you're insecure, Andrew Tate is kind of like the holy grail, because he is like, you want a Bugatti, you know, you want to get muscles, like he's kind of like, yeah, be like me, you know what I mean? And if you're a young boy who doesn't have any role models and you're poor and you just kind of want to look up to someone, that's who you're going to listen to. So I think it really has to do with I think it has a lot to do with the Andrew Tates, Fresh and Fits of the world. And I think the show Adolescence really highlighted it in a beautiful way, where it really covered all of it and how it has like a ripple effect on communities and families in general, which is why I asked, but I think that's why.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I remember I was covering like the MRA, like the men's rights activist movement.
Oh, I forgot about that.
In the like the early 2010s, and I was very familiar with a lot of them, and a lot of them were very familiar with me. And you know, most of those guys were older men, and like their gripe wasn't that like they were lonely incels who didn't get any attention. Their gripe was that they were like bad partners and now have to pay alimony or child support. Like it was a completely different misogynistic thing that radicalized them to become such like, you know, raging misogynists. But it flipped at some point where like that whole, you know, movement is now about appealing to young incels.
I can only imagine that COVID made all this worse, right? Because like Ariana was talking about role models and stuff. So if we're all isolated, we don't talk to people, the internet is going to be your whole life, right?
Yeah, and especially like imagine like for example, I grew up in a very fucked up household. So if I was stuck in the apartment with my dad, like during COVID in high school when we had no money, I would have probably fallen down some rabbit holes too. I'm gonna be honest with you. But I someone in my chat brought this up, and I just kind of want to talk about it. Did you guys see that clip of Sneeko where there were a couple of young kids who recognized him and they went up to him and they were like, "Oh my God, Sneeko, I love you, I love you. Yeah, kill the gays, kill the gays." Like
I remember that.
Yeah, I did a video on that. Yeah.
That's the perfect example of it. That is literally like people like Sneeko, Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate. They're peddling a bunch of crazy shit. And these young, impressionable kids who just went through COVID, who don't have good role models, who probably come from broken homes, which is fine. We can't control what home we're from. They prey on those kinds of kids. And now it's starting to show when it comes to like, you know, the vote and stuff like that.
Dang. That's so scary.
So, yeah.
I love you all. I have to take off a little bit early. I'm going to a vigil for the Lapu Lapu Festival thing that happened in Van, but I will see you all next week. I love you all.
Oh,
take
Bye,
care,
man.
Take care.
No, they're training up these kids to be, first of all, Ariana, you being in high school during COVID is crazy. But you know, they're training up these.
I wasn't. I'm just saying I could imagine myself.
Oh, I was about to say that's crazy business.
No. I would tweet if that was, you know, I was definitely out of college.
Like, baby, you still got milk on your tongue. I was like, okay, but no, okay. But no, they're training up these kids, especially these young boys. And we see even with these young women to have this idea, those traditional, terrible problematic, dangerous. That mindset. They want to. It takes nothing but YouTube these days, or something that's going viral these days, to literally take your child's mind, to literally start molding your and they're not even like babies. We're talking about at the age of now, choose your party, right? Choose where you're going to stand. It doesn't take them anything. Whatever is trending, and conservatives tend to trend. They're like bad takes, problematic takes tend to trend. The football players who are going to the White House tends to trend. And I will see young men be like, well, what did he do that's wrong? All he did was go, like, y'all always want to be mad about something because that's what that football player said. And they'll just repeat that and be like, I'm just, just going to play golf. Y'all be worried about politics. But it is very political. Like, your black ass going to play golf with the Nazi is crazy. It's crazy, so also, you being a part of the NFL, you had people come before you who just decided to kneel in silent protest, and Donald Trump aligned with the NFL and told them to get those sons of a bitch, that son of a bitch in line. Like, it's all connected. As you said before, Mike, it's really all connected. But these children don't want to go and do any research. They don't want to hear anything else. Whatever. It's just as simple as whatever is trending, whatever is trending from your favorite person.
Right? Like, it's easy. Some of it, like, it's childish, so it's funny. Like, I think that the draw of Donald Trump, perhaps with young people, I mean, this is just conjecture, but like, he says offensive things, and when you're young, your brain isn't developed, or if you're old and underdeveloped emotionally and whatnot, it's funny. Oh, or
if you're Jillian Michaels.
Or if you're Jillian Michaels, like, that's their whole edgy humor. Like, oh, they said something, they pushed the boundary, so like maybe that's what it is. It's just depressing because like, there's no way to really compete with that on the left. As Ariana was saying, like, who do we have? Like, the biggest figures are Hassan, Majority Report. Like, that's not a lot. Compare them to like the hundreds of huge, like, comparably sized creators, and like, they're just flooding every single website. So it's like this huge storm of like fascism is washing over us, and it's happening everywhere, by the way. And then when you combine that with like the socioeconomic decline and the death of capitalism and death of the planet, like, people are looking for, like, they're looking for answers, even if it's something that seems crazy. Like, so they're gonna find these hucksters, and they're gonna think, well, they make me feel good, or they give me an explanation as to why I don't feel good. Yeah, and it sucks. I don't know what to do about it, but I kind of feel like we're cooked.
We are, and I think
like,
the conservatives actually are they'll take the formulas that worked for just the culture, right? They'll take the formulas and use it and push it out because they have the money, they have the means, they got this type of control right now. We'll see on different networks, even places where we thought were safe at one point are now pushing out rhetoric too that seems like, oh, hold on, who you siding with? Like, oh, so you think that being a Nazi is okay? And they'll be like, we're just hearing them out, we're just, trying to see.
Well, to your point, Rebecca,
don't you like free speech?
Did you all see the Sneeko stream?
Yes.
With Kanye West, where they're trying to get somebody to say "Hail Hitler" because that's like in the chorus of his new song, and the guy doesn't want to say. I don't know who any of these people are.
The song sounds insane.
The song is insane.
So, can I just say something? I did an Instagram video about this. I don't know if you've seen it, because sometimes you see my videos, but okay, so Kanye West, Ye West, I just need to add this. So there's a news report that local media in LA did, and they were like, hey, there's this warehouse in the middle of LA, and randomly in the middle of the night, we hear neighbors here chanting and like basically marching and stuff like that. And then they found out that Kanye West owns that warehouse, and he actually put out an ad for it. And the ad said, no fat people, hooligan choir, and you have to be okay with swastikas. So I don't know what the fuck that man is up to. I really don't. But like, he's definitely doing something. I don't know if he's building an army. People are speculating it's for a music video. I don't know what the fuck kind of music video he wants to come out with.
I honestly don't think he has enough patience or the ability to do something beyond just riling people up for attention.
Like a
I don't
stunt.
think he's I don't think he's putting together something for some sort of movement. He doesn't have the capacity to do that.
The worst thing
but
that he's
Kanye
doing is
West-
using his clout to push Nazism overtly.
Hey,
Oh no,
I
he's definitely
listen.
people will build it for him. Like he just
Yeah.
goes, and again, there are people who just because it's Kanye West, they will take whatever he says because they love him, because it's Kanye West, and we should continue to shield him. Which is my problem within, even the Black online space. I'll see people who will be like, man, that's yay. Y'all not really seeing what he trying to say, what he trying to do. He trying to take it back the same way we took back nigga. They trying to take back Nazi. What are you talking about? That's not for us to take back. There's nothing about that is helpful or
Trying to
anything.
justify it in such
Right, they do,
bizarre
and
ways.
they'll continue to do that. And then this, as I was telling somebody else that I was talking to the other day, like you sit there and read Kanye West's tweet, listen to his latest song about him molesting or sexually abusing his cousin, and think that this is okay. You're saying that, oh, he's just mentally unwell. Okay, I believe that he is mentally unwell, but I also believe that he's very problematic. He's dangerous. And
You
two
be
things
both.
can be true.
Yeah,
and
you could be mentally unwell and an unhinged Nazi.
Absolutely.
Not mutually
and have a
what
following.
he is.
And have influence.
Right. Yeah.
And have influence. And we can't sit here and be like, he just confessed. I mean, he was a child too, so there was a problem there. What was going on with them children and why they was
the environment had to have been awful.
It had to be crazy. But for you to admit these things and then sing about it, tweet about it, not in an apologetic way, not in the way that, hey, it was trauma. It was just like, yeah, I did that.
In the most cavalier fucking way imaginable for that topic. Like, excuse me?
And they want to normalize this. This is what, how are we not like, this is problematic? How are we not making a bigger conversation about his environment at the time, what he did, how this is sexual abuse to whoever his cousin was at the time? Like, why they're talking about y'all not really listening to the lyrics. Y'all not really understanding where he coming from. And it's like, I'd rather not, though, because
trying to intellectualize it and like polish a turd. Like, I'm sorry, there's nothing there. I love how I saw on that note, Rebecca, I saw somebody tweet out. I can't remember what else happened politically that day, but I saw somebody was like, Kanye West came out with his cousin story to distract from the Trump story or something. It was something along those lines. I'm misremembering it, but it was just like so fucking
something about
brain-brained.
Epstein.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, Ariana. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So insane.
That's
they
crazy.
said he was trying to get ahead of it. You know what I mean? So
right.
Reclaim
if you
the
go off the
story.
messaging, then nobody's going to talk about the real story. I don't know what to do. People are so insane. And people, and here's the thing. It's not just that people are like coming out of the closet and they're saying, hey, everybody, I'm insane as fuck. They're getting more insane. Like, just side note, have you all looked at Jimmy Dore's channel lately?
I have
He's
not.
talking
I can't.
about planes getting sucked into vortexes.
You see?
He's talking about, I think like Democrats controlling
Like his
the
fucking
weather,
brain getting stuck in the toilet.
chemtrails. Like, people are getting so much more insane, and I feel like I'm going crazy. Like, they're gonna make me insane too and suck me into it. Like, what are we doing?
That's beautiful, because let me send y'all
Alex
something.
Jones paved the way though.
Alex Jones walked so Jimmy Dore could run.
Absolutely. People getting insane. I just watched the video of Mark Lamont Hill. He's on Joe Biden's podcast. I don't know the name of the podcast right now. It's not coming to me, but he's on that podcast now, Mark Lamont Hill. And I just they're arguing, and not even that Mark is trying to argue. He's trying to really talk to this man. I don't know his name, but he's one of the podcast hosts, and he's trying to talk to him about the earth. It literally went, the earth being flat. I'm sending it in the chat. God. It's on Threads. And they go in, like, they're going back and forth. And this man's like, I don't want to even talk about it on camera. And Mark is like, sir, this is what you're trying to say. I've actually wrote a book about this. Let me educate you. He's like, no, the earth's flat. Earth's flat. You just trying to, you using all these words, and it got crazy. it really got crazy. There are 2 clips. There's the first one and the second one underneath in the threads. But I watched that and I was so embarrassed for us as a people.
as human beings.
All black, white, everybody in between, light skin, dark skin, white, because this is a normal conversation amongst the stupids. But
oh my
go
God.
ahead.
To say that black people were inferior, mentally inferior to white people, and they had scientists that proved it.
Can I respond to that?
Quote unquote proved it.
Can I respond to that? The science that you're talking about, phrenology, which is the sort of early. Am I wrong? Did I say something wrong?
No, you're saying a whole bunch of words to say ish. You're right. They did have scientists that came in and said a bunch of bullshit.
Can I respond? Because you said to let you finish, and then you started rolling your eyes and turned red. Phrenology was not a science. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying a bunch of words to say you're right. I'm saying a bunch of words to saying you're misrepresenting the history of this. I actually know a lot about this. Can I finish?
No, because they had biologists. It's not just one science. And this is when you start.
This is like when you argue in the comment section.
You're absolutely wrong about
People like this hate knowledge. It's like they get offended when someone knows something. Like when someone actually knows something, they get offended by it. It's
No,
like
they get so mad. Now he starts to say, and this is the same guy who was saying like the earth is flat. He starts to say, let's have this conversation off, and they continue to roll, but continue to play it. Like it's just dumb.
I feel
dumb.
so bad for Mark Lamont Hill. Bless
Me too.
him for even trying.
Yeah.
We can have this conversation.
No, hold on.
We can have this conversation.
You say you don't like getting cut off.
I don't want to do it on the camera.
That's fine, but you said your whole thing, and then I said 3 words. You come here and say I'm saying too many words. Do you mind if I respond to what you said? May I, if it's okay with you? Okay, so phrenology was not a science. It was a pseudoscience. It was skull measuring. Phrenology was not a science, and phrenology wasn't based on empirical data. It was based on skull measuring. What Ish is right about is that they were talking about brain sizes, but the theory that the brain size was connected to intelligence was not empirically proven. It is nowhere near what happens when you talk about the sphere of the earth, the shape of the earth. The science that black people were not intelligent based on their brain size was never proven, and the scientists who came in have been discredited, not their method, but them as scientists as such. In other words, they never did a scientific method. And the biologists that he's talking about were absolutely not involved with phrenology. That's a whole, he's talking about the Galton studies. There's about 4 or 5 other studies. I actually just finished a book on this, writing one. And he absolutely was not about skull measuring. And if you want, I can show you the data right now. Would you like to see the studies? I happen to have them right here in my pocket. You want to see them? Because I can show you. I can empirically just.
You can't get through to people like that.
No,
That's what's so
can't.
frustrating about those kind of conversations. It's just like what do we do? What can we possibly do to get through to somebody who is offended that you know something? You know what I mean?
This is like talking to a family member at you're at the kitchen table, and for me, especially because I come from a huge. The men can't stand that I have a vagina and I know things. They can't stand that I am the expert on this particular thing. So the minute I be like, well, actually, then they'll be like, oh my God, like here you go. You could never know. You're a woman. You could never. Then they start saying the dumbest things. This man wanted to say the earth is flat and black people wouldn't know if the earth was round because they had studies. Where they said black people are dumb and white people were smarter. Let's be for real. Let's be for real. And the fact that you have somebody who is an expert who actually studied this, who actually researched this, who wrote a book about this and just is trying to tell you, and you sending Mark Lamont's blood pressure all the way up because you just dumb. You just sitting here dumb. And then you get mad and you throw a whole tantrum as a child. You got a boot on your foot. You get to scooting over there because you want to run out the room, and then you sit down and you want to ignore him because he's really trying to educate you on
threw
this.
A tantrum when Mark Lamont Hill was trying to explain it to him. Did you see him? He was like, "No, I don't want to see."
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. And when I first started,
I'm not embarrassed.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. When I first started doing this work in on the first regime of Donald Trump, Ben used to tell me don't look in the comment section, but baby, I was in there like just going in on people every single day, just going in every day, just going back and forth.
That's so bad for you.
Yeah, it was so terrible. And at that I used to like go back and forth with these people, and they don't stop. They literally will continue saying dumb stuff. And then it'll make you feel fried every single time. And then I realized you cannot combat stupid. Like you can't, like, just, you got to let them be dumb, let them fall, let them say whatever they're going to say. It is dangerous though, because these are the people, again, that go viral and more like Kanye West, and people will follow them off of a bridge. But at this point, you can't save everybody. These are the people who are influencers on major podcasts like this Joe Budden podcast, and people will just follow him because they don't like that Mark Lamont is a journalist or in politics, so they wouldn't want to listen to him. They will continue to listen to the other person. Somebody told me his name is Ish. Yeah. So, but yeah, stupidity is just at an all-time high. Ignorance is at an all-time high. And just because it trends makes it right, makes it what we should follow.
Everyone thinks, I think part of it too is that what was that?
This was by design. Ronald Reagan literally abolished free university because he felt like everyone was becoming a communist and going against the government. So he abolished the university free tuition because he was like, way too many people are leftist and way too many people are educated. So then he only made university available to the people who could actually afford it, or the people who were willing to take out loans. And that's what fucked us all up.
I think a major part of it too, and it adds to this. So I'm getting a little bit more specific on Ariana's point about education, is that media literacy is at all-time lows, and people and combine that with social media where anyone can publish anything. Like, you used to, if you wanted to read about what was going on in the world previously, you had to read from a newspaper or a magazine, and usually to create a newspaper or magazine, you needed to be a company with money to print a newspaper or magazine, and if you were gonna have money, it means you were successful at being a reputable source in some ways. Now anyone can publish anything, which is good in some ways, but there's also bad on the flip side. Whereas anyone can say anything out there, and the worst part of it is that the people who are consuming this content, they do not understand that just because you see it out there means that there's some sort of authority or truthfulness to it. People will see something on TikTok or YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, read it, and just right away, without even having a modicum of like, wait a second, this sounds fishy, let me double check this somewhere else. They'll just read it and go, this is the truth. I've read something. Why else would someone put it out there? It's true. And that's how shit spreads, and you see it all the time. You can just go on Facebook, and all the time you will come across some Facebook page with like 1 million plus followers. And in like little font on the about page of the Facebook page, it'll say like, this is a satire website. But they don't put it anywhere else. And then they'll post daily stuff that's completely out there, thinking like, oh, I know why they do it. They get the clicks and the shares, and it gets them paid whatever Google ads or monetization they have on their site. But people see that shit, and they read it, and they share it, and they think it's the truth. And it's happening millions of times every single day, and it's a huge problem.
A misinformation AI slot machine. Like I went onto Facebook, and all I saw was like, okay, fake movie posters for like Marvel movies. I don't know why. Maybe like 10, 15 years ago, I liked like a Marvel movie. I don't even know why. Like all this fake fucking bullshit.
There's so much fake shit on there. It's insane.
It's so
I was on there once. It's like Elon Musk has bought The View. He now owns the show. Like, what is going on?
And in the comment section,
I've seen that one.
And then the comment section under that post was ridiculous. They're like, oh, some people are like, wow,
like,
finally,
oh my God,
we're gonna have like, and then other people are like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? They're fighting, they're crying, they're sending these posts to their grandmothers, their aunts, everything. And I'm like, the AI, and then back when AI first came out, when we were seeing it in graphic form, where it was just like art or whatever, they would have something like just 4 fingers, because I had to count how many I got, but they had like just something like 4 fingers, or like something weird about them that we knew that this was AI. All of a sudden, that stopped being a thing. Now we got full human people. They making it look so realistic, and they're saying, and it's even celebrity pages now because that's how they make money.
Right.
On Facebook, celebrity pages are pushing this misinformation to get money. Like I'm looking like, why am I seeing like Keisha Cole's page?
I've seen that too,
This
Rebecca.
story, or yeah, it's crazy. Missy Elliott's page pushed this. Like, what is the point on Facebook though? That's how they make their money.
People need to do what Rebecca just did on the stream. She saw an AI image with a person with 4 fingers, and she didn't believe it right away. She double checked, and she did the research, and she found out that we actually have 5 fingers. Right. That's what people need to do.
No, it's not like that, but it's harder now because now they're making the AI with the 5 fingers, and they're not putting
it's
it.
getting
better.
I've seen like couple celebrates 100th wedding anniversary, and it's like 2 old people. That's AI, but they look like
Everybody
they're 85.
They're like,
just
oh,
like what's
this
happening?
is so sweet. This is so cute. I can't wait to do this myself. This is like, and I'm like, y'all, this ain't even real. This couple is not even a thing. They made this with AI. They taking people's babies. They'll make AI like make a face similar to it and be like, you know, the cutest baby was born and died at birth and then woke like they're putting to no. Here's the
my favorite one. My favorite one is the ones that are about that are a supposed picture of Elon Musk and his beautiful family, and it's an AI generated image, and it's literally Elon Musk, like a AI generated Elon Musk. And then the wife is always literally the AI generated Elon Musk, but with a wig on, with like long hair. And then the little kids are literally just mini carbon copies of Elon Musk. And all the comments will be like, what a beautiful family.
It's so crazy. Like, how are they
wrong with you people?
How are they
Don't
eating
you
this up?
notice there's something wrong with this image?
And the religious AI, the Jesus pictures like hugging somebody. And then the AI pictures where you have like people, they'll put an AI filter over themselves. And if you're like 70, you look like you're 13.
Oh my God.
Mom put one of those pictures on her first. I'm like, Mom, you have to remove that filter.
We got to do it. Like it used to be, you know, little light filters. Now I'm like, I know what you look like in real life. Like, I just want you to embrace
like
yourself.
an anime character.
You don't like y'all are really doing this, and it's so bad. AI, I've seen it do great things. I've actually seen people who can't make it to go do, you know, professional headshots. The latest AI has done it where they'll use their face and it looks great. I think it looks absolutely great. But then I'm seeing people who are using it gets so dangerous because you don't know what's what. AI is taking people's voices. I've heard songs. I've heard alleged like tapes, right? I've heard all of those like leaks and I'm like, can this be the person? Because now AI can take our voice, make full sentences, have full conversations. People are calling. Somebody was just talking about this. People are calling from jail because, you know, people, they got cell phones in jail. They're using AI, the power of AI, to utilize somebody's voice.
Think what prosecutors can do with that, or cops to plant evidence, like phone evidence.
They've used it.
You know, yeah,
they've done it. They've done it, and I think and people are really dumb. I hate to say that people are so damn dumb. They're taking like, you know, the animal videos, right? I know y'all seen this. They're taking like 17 different people's videos. It don't even tie together. It's not even the same person, and they're like, found this deer on the side of the road. It's a random baby deer that somebody's just kind of like picking up on the side of the road. Then it's like a different person's hand taking care of the deer in the second one from a whole different video. Then the third video is a grown deer from another country, and now it's a different ethnicity in this. It's so bad, and people are in the comment sections like, "May God bless you. Take care of God's animals. This is, you know, the world is all right again." And I'm like, are you so dumb?
People have lost it.
It's too much.
It is. People have lost it.
This is like, if you all heard of dead internet theory. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ariana.
No, you're fine. I just want to say I did this story this past week about AI, and I've initially thought that it was women using. There's this AI filter that makes you look like you have Down syndrome. And so they've been using it in order to sell more OnlyFans subscriptions. It's
Down
a whole thing.
syndrome?
Yeah. It's like a whole thing. So I did a
Wow.
video on it on Instagram, and I found like OnlyFans girls reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, there's people who are stealing our OnlyFans content, putting an AI Down syndrome filter on
I
it,
heard about this. Yeah.
and selling it as in like, oh, have you ever wanted to be with a like, or like, have you ever wanted to eggplant a Down syndrome girl? Like, click the link in my bio." And they do it just to like OnlyFans fish.
There's so many layers to that. Like the theft of
Yeah.
content, the filter, the exploitation. Holy shit, people are so
Yes.
fucked up.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, like, Meta is great at censoring political people. They're great at censoring you if you post anything Palestine. But for some reason, this has been going on for months on Meta. And every single time these OnlyFans, these women who are sex workers who are on OnlyFans reach out to Meta and they complain, basically Meta says that, oh, all we can do is just copyright strike it. Like, we can't do anything else. Which is like, are you serious?
Meta is so useless. First of all, they said that they weren't gonna throttle political content into this new year. I mean, my shit is still getting throttled. I don't know about everybody else here, but like my views haven't changed at all. And it like was a cliff after they chose to like put the hammer on political content. That hasn't changed for me. And like they're still sending all of my payments to the Young Turks. They give it to me still, thankfully, even though I'm talking shit. So credit to them for that. But like there's nothing that you can do to change that over. There's no service for create. Meta is just the absolute worst, and I think
they are. And I'm sorry to hear
would be better off without them.
That's terrible. And yes, especially with how they tried to push Threads and Instagram, and under the guise of it being better than what Twitter was doing with what Elon Musk was doing with Twitter. So everybody was doing the great migration over to Threads or whatever. And then they were like, just kidding. Y'all could say whatever you want and be as disrespectful as you need to be on here. Donald Trump just gave me a check. And so I know we said that we were going to protect and we were going to do, but now just roll with us here. If you talking politics, you won't be seen.
Isn't it crazy how they were so specific too? They're like, oh, you can say that transness is a mental disorder and conversion therapy for gay people is good. It's like, oh, like thanks for the very specific things that you're citing that are appropriate now.
It's so crazy. And then I'm like, they will throttle your content specifically. Like if you are, when I first got on Threads, right, my stuff was everywhere. Oh yeah, okay, fine. As soon as they started talking how they're going to crack down on political content or people who are mostly political, I seen it immediately. And it's almost like they group us together and separate me from everybody else. But then and then Instagram, I don't really use Instagram no more unless I'm just trying to like thirst trap or something. But I get on there and they'll tell me, we not pushing your stuff. Like I'll get a message and say, we're not going to push this at all. It like literally was just
so you know, we're not showing this to anybody.
Right. They'll say, nobody's going to see this. But if you want somebody to see this, post a reel 1,000 times tomorrow, and then we'll push this. People, they literally gave me like rules or whatever. I had this one post maybe like a month ago. It went viral. I think it got like 3 million views or whatever on there. And I'm like, why did that do that? And the rest of my stuff don't do much. But they told me because this did that, we don't. Instagram sent me a message about this. Kid you not. Because that posted that, we're going to slow down every other like view on your account. I already get 5 people who look at it anyway. Now you just want them 5 people to go away. Like you want me to, then they offer like, if you pay for the verified, check mark, then we'll push your stuff out to another 5 people. So now it's like a payment thing, like, of course, capitalistic type vibes, but they'll like be like, we want you to pay for views, or because you are in politics, even though you're posting yourself at the beach or whatever, we're not gonna send that out to even any of your followers or people who, none of that. We're not going to do that. And I hate that Instagram does that. But for me, I thought Threads was supposed to be a safe space. And in the beginning it was, but now I see people on there being so disrespectful. Twitter is literally on threads. They're calling people slurs. Their takes are terrible. And yeah, I hate it. I still love the feature where you can hide for everybody because you thought you was about to be under my comment section calling me. Oh yeah, hide for everybody. Nobody's gonna see that. That's still my favorite feature, but it's still like they definitely did, like, we played you. They played us. People really thought it was going to be a safe space. Nowhere on the internet. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust Elon Musk. I don't trust Zuck. I don't trust neither one of them because, yeah, it's a free for all.
I got to jump off and celebrate the fact that the Leafs beat Ottawa and they're moving on to round 2, and it's fucking fantastic.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I was watching it the whole time I was on here, by the way. This was a great game.
Multitasking,
David.
Yes, I was multitasking.
You got this victory. You've got the electoral victory. You got to celebrate.
It's a good.
Weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty good week. Let's hope
coming
it
up, David.
To round 2. But I got to read these super chats, so I'm going to do that now. Nintendo Gaming Channel says Canadians and U.S. progressives are taught critical thinking, unlike U.S. Nazi Party, aka U.S. Republican Party, U.S. Nazi Party outlawed thinking at all. Also says Nebraskans and U.S. Nazi Party, aka U.S. Republican Party, didn't care about Nebraska. Truth, they cared about racism, homophobia, and teaching of Jesus. Rach, thank you for your super chats. Rachel Atwood. Let me find you. Anna gets to be the smart one next to these clowns. Yeah, I guess she's supposed to be the liberal on the panel. Yes, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to bring myself to actually watch any of the episodes to really judge.
I'll watch the clips online.
Yeah.
Vanguard will probably have it covered.
Rolando says, my deepest appreciation to you, Lance, and all the Canadians that saw what was happening in the U.S. and rejected a conservative majority. Go Canada. Thank you for your super chat. Bay Photo. Where's says, so Pierre Poilievre coming back is pretty much a given. I wouldn't say it's a given, but right now they seem to be defending the fact that he still calling him the leader and some of them are arguing that he should stay on. There hasn't been a fight yet internally about what should happen. I will say if they were to try and pick a new leader, there'd probably be a split in the Conservative Party because he's sort of been able to bring together the far right and just the normal conservatives in the party. So I imagine he'll stay on and they'll try to give him a handout of a seat. Pix says 2 ridings were won by less than 40 votes. Yeah, there were some close ridings. That's why it's important to go out and vote. Tig says, thank you for your super chat. Very generous, $20. Says, what games are you playing right now, David? Anything you'd recommend? I am playing Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It is fantastic, awesome, turn-based RPG from France, actually. It's their first game, and it's amazing that it's their first game. At least as a studio. I will say that, no spoilers, but I feel like it's like halfway through the game. There's a character that looks like me. If you're there, let me know if you think that too. I saw the guy, I'm like, this guy looks oddly like me.
I'll look out.
What's the name of the game again?
Halfway yet.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
It's so good.
There's a character that looks like you.
Yeah, but you may not see much of that that character online because it's a bit in the game and maybe a bit of a spoiler. But Jacqueline, when I find you, I will read the super chat. Jacqueline Leach, thank you for your super chat. Conservative panelists on CBC today berated the NDP for wanting to take the party further left. LOL. That means as far left as we can go. Let's lead with Naomi Klein and Avi Lewis and run the ball. I agree. Avi Lewis would be a fantastic leader of the party if he can win a seat. That'd be solid. A few more left. Pix says,
how has the reaction been? How has the reaction been? Like, has there been a call out to Trump in terms of like a specific has like the rhetoric been like, look what like Trump did? Like he like, has that been the story in Canada? Like
in terms of like why people voted?
Yeah, like how whatever his name is, he lost.
Pierre Poilievre?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the reaction to him has been, yeah, like there's been connections to him. Like Elon Musk was like retweeting his videos as late as like December. I'm sure he was told to stop, but like there was always that connection between him and I mean, we call it Maple MAGA up here because it's essentially there's an element of the conservative party that is Maple MAGA.
Maple
so
MAGA,
yeah,
I like that.
There's definitely a clear rejection of that. Pix, if Earth was flat, cats would knock everything off. what a unique opinion. Kowalski, thank you for your super chat. Says a current meme is whether or not 100 average people could defeat a gorilla in hand-to-hand combat. Obviously, the humans win, but I want to know: could one gorilla beat the U.S. Senate bare hands? Discuss. I've been seeing some of these. I didn't read into that meme because I'm just like, this sounds real dumb. But yes, I do think a gorilla could beat the U.S. Senate. I don't think it'd be too hard.
I think that a gorilla could beat 100 people as well. The real question is, can one man beat 100 duck-sized gorillas? That's something to ponder.
One will never know unless you use that simulation. That
this is how we know Trump has fried our brains. Because like, how is this
right? Our brains are so rotted.
Last two, Motivation Factory. Thank you for your super chat. Says great coverage on the election, David. Any thoughts on the Alberta separation movement? It's so fucking stupid. Like even Jason Kenney, who is a pretty far right premier of Alberta, he's come out against that. So there's always going to be extreme elements of anybody. I would be surprised if they found enough of those people to actually try and get it done. It's also, I mean, I was listening to a discussion about this on CBC. The reality is, if they try to do that, the land actually belongs to Indigenous people, so they'd have to try and get the land back from Indigenous people if you take it out of Canada. I just don't think there's a realistic chance of this happening. Chris, last one here, says Trump truly believed those letters were on his fist. He's a doddering old man.
We didn't even get to that.
And he's being lied to by his cabinet, but he's happy to be. He's going to get worse in the next 3.5 years. Yeah, you guys can go and discuss that. One last thing I want to mention. I'm on Crystal and Kyle and Friends this weekend. I was just on the show discussing Canada. So go check that out on there. Yeah. I think it's on Substack. I think they put part of it on YouTube as well. But
right on.
All right. Thank you all
David.
for this wonderful discussion. Assuming the Leafs don't play a game next Thursday, I'll be here. See how things go. It's playoffs. I can't, very few things give me joy in life. So when it comes by,
you should always go and find that
joy. Take the joy where you can find it.
Absolutely.
You have to. Yep.
See ya.
Bye.
Take care, David. All right. Who wants to go next? I can pull them up on the screen.
Me. Get me out of here.
Okay. Okay, name the first one, and once I pull that one up, I should be able to follow.
Let me see.
Along.
Hold on. Like I said, every time I do this, I feel like a boomer because Ariana taught me this. Going to the filters. Right. Here we go. The first one is Alessandra Silva Ruiz.
Let me see. Here we go.
There you go. Okay, hear me out. Thank you, Alessandra. Thank you. Okay, hear me out. Leftist version of that talk show, whatever talk show. I seen the clip too, with Anna Kasparian and the other workout lady, of that talk show, but hosted by Ariana, Rebecca, Francesca, and Emma. I'd watch that. That sounds great. But yeah,
throw in Olay to make it even better.
I go on it.
Yeah, definitely.
The only problem is that no one wants to fund the leftists making shows. So
no, nobody. Yeah. But did you see the views on the one that they did though? You think because these people are platforms, YouTube don't play that. They're like, yeah, okay, and it's like I think when I went on there when Olay sent it to me, I think it was like I went on there like an hour ago, and it was like or 2 hours ago, and it's like 200 views on it. I'm saying that on my little channel, and those people have a huge platform each.
Yeah, and they're also part of a parent company too.
You can't even convert your people to come and watch your stuff. They don't believe you.
It's just oversaturated. Like the whole market, there's so many of this. Oh, I used to be a lefty, now I'm a conservative, or I'm dabbling with conservatism. There's so many flavors of this. Like, who wants another? It's like when somebody's like, oh, I'm starting a new podcast. Like, oh, okay, so there's 10 trillion
800 billion, like there's one more. Great. It's just too much.
And then what's funny is they were all like, different voices, different beliefs, and we're all no, y'all all think the same way.
Yeah.
Who are you think differently? Like, let's be for real. Yeah.
There's no ideological diversity there. Give me a fucking break.
Y'all all the same.
We disagree here and there, but we all know that the woke left is ruining Western society. And just shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that shit again.
Please. All right. Tigwick is next. Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate that. Upgraded the mic yet. Once YouTube sends y'all money and it don't come until a month later. Just need y'all to know that. Once they send the coin, I'll get the mic. But thank you, Tigwick. Love you, mean it. Zeitwise. I hope that's what I'm saying for the next one. Zeitwise. Thank you so much for your super sticker. I really appreciate it. Columbrican. Thank you again, Rebecca. You're so right. Just like how Hassan Piker says when he calls out centrists, put on the apolitical hat so they can then push right-wing propaganda. Absolutely. Everybody's a damn grifter. F around and find out. Thank you, Nintendo Gaming Channel. F around and find out. Give the land back to the indigenous native people that it was stolen from. They need to do that. They never gonna do that. They need to, but they never will. America
They're telling you to give it back, Rebecca.
Right. Oh, me.
Give it back right now.
I can't because I ain't even, they don't even, there's groups of people that say I shouldn't even be here. So, right. Because my parents are Haitian. I can't do that for you, but more power.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I understand it.
No, I got you.
Nintendo Gaming Channel.
Kua Damon. I always hope I say that correctly because Kuya Damon. Thank you so much. You see that Bully and the Beast moment when the guy says that he defecates in his hand and his co-host discovers in real time he's serious. Of course I didn't see it. That would never come across my time. I ain't watching that. The flat earth moment reminded me of that. Hi, Jesus. Thank you so much. But why are you watching that? Where is that coming from? What social media space is that in? Because I don't want to be in that one seeing that. But Alex Das Levy, thank you so much for your super chat. Saw Leftist Mafia thumbnail and thought, yes, they are, and clicked. Was it your thumbnail? I think it was your thumbnail, Mike. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I gave you all a thumbnail beforehand because I'm like, okay, we'll probably talk about the Anna Kasparian shit. So here's a thumbnail for you all if you want to use it.
Columba Rican, thank you so much again. Scammers are using AI voice to do accident scams. They are, and they're getting old people like crazy. Before it was just the text messages. Yeah, and now we're getting, you guys are probably getting them too. Tolls. They're sending you tolls, text messages about your tolls. You got you owe this amount in tolls or whatever. And I always send them
one. I've gotten a toll. Yeah.
They have to, some people don't even drive. And they're getting the toll messages. So yeah, but they get old people a lot. I had this lady who was an Uber driver. She told me that they made her she sent $1,000 to people that she thought she owed, and she called the bank and the bank at the time told her they're not going to help her with that because she should have known that was a scam. And she said, now I have, the way she was talking to me was so sad. She was like, now I have to Uber just to make that money back. My children are mad at me that I even was sending money to the person. I was like, oh, poor old lady. They're getting them. They're getting them.
I feel sympathetic for old people because they didn't grow up with the technology like we did. So it's more confusing to them. They're trying to learn. And then you have a bunch of people taking advantage of that and exploiting them. Yeah. I get a lot of texts like, oh, your Netflix account has been compromised. Click here to reset your password. It's like, I haven't had Netflix for almost 6 months now. Like, what?
Yeah. I just take it. My whole information's online. Yeah. As far as y'all, my Netflix account, what Netflix account? I just whatever. I don't care. Who watching it? Yeah, just watch it. I don't
let them enjoy my Netflix then. I don't have it, but
I don't care. But it's funny you say that you can empathize with the old people. I know how you don't like them. So it's great to hear.
That just proves it, right?
You see, right? There we go.
I'm also rooting for the 87-year-old running for the House Oversight Committee chair position. So I feel like this episode should have rehabilitated the false rumor that I'm old person hater. Which, by the way, just to remind everybody, stemmed from me saying that a Nazi should have been punched in the face who was old.
To be clear.
So it wasn't because he was old, it was because he was a Nazi, which I still stand by.
As you should. Chris, thank you so much for your super chat. Nuclear disarmament of the occupier state needs to be part of the convo. There is an unfortunate and ugly but very real reason South Africa was disarmed before ending apartheid, but also they are not responsible state actors. I absolutely think that's a, oh, you don't see that one? Chris.
No. How does
it's okay.
It start again?
I Chris, $20. Thank you, Chris. I read it for you. You know.
Okay. I see this one.
That's Chris.
This is the chat? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then Laura, I haven't seen you in a long time, Laura. Thanks for watching. I want Leftist Mafia to all go see the movie Sinners. Have you guys seen it?
I was gonna see it last weekend. I might see it this weekend. I want to.
Yeah, it's a good movie. To see Sinners, then review and discuss. Please think on it. I don't know. I hate this. I don't know. I'm not big. I tried it before to like review movies, but we don't all be having the same takes. And I'd be like, you should think about it like I do. You know, real definitely control.
It would ruin movies for me if I had to review them, I think.
Yeah, it would. And everybody's experience is different. But I will say, I definitely go check it out. It's great. I went by myself to see it, and I'm not into like thrillers or because I'm just scaredy cat, right? So I was in the movie theater and I was scared. It wasn't even a scary movie, but I was scared and I left, and then I was scared of white people after the fact. But you should watch it. You gotta watch it. And the last one, Alessandra, thank you so much once again. Once my Soros check clears, I'll fund the show. Thank you. Fund the show. Give to whoever.
Nice.
Tip your host. Make sure, because this is what we do for you. And I'm out. I love you guys. Mean it. I'll see you guys next Thursday.
You take care.
Bye.
Have a nice week.
Bye.
All right. Matt or Ariana, which one of you wants to go first?
Can
I
I
can pull
go
it up
first,
for you.
please?
You go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, I think this one is your first one, right?
Let me go. I have to go through my text. Okay. First of all, I want to thank everyone that sent me money because I haven't been streaming for 2 weeks and New York is fucking expensive. Moving across country is expensive, so I really appreciate it.
It's so expensive. Yeah.
It's so expensive. It's so bad.
Send her some super chats. Keep her hair super long.
Yeah.
Big money. High dollar ones.
Thank you so much, Blue X. $2 ladies night. Shush Matt. Period. I agree. Nintendo. I'm just kidding. Nintendo Gaming Channel $6.99. Thank you so much. U.S. is living in Idiocracy movie 2006. Progressive American and non-Nazis are living that now movie. Is in fact.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. Sorry, the typo got me. But yes, you're right. I totally agree with you. It's really, really, really bad. Thank you for the $7 though. Bay Photo, San Francisco really is a quirky mix of culture, art, drugs, feces, and tech bros. You're either struggling or wealthy enough to buy an entire block. So I don't know. I'm going to make this quick, but I don't know if you guys know this. There's a new report that came out that said that San Francisco has the most densely populated rich people. I believe it was either in the world or the nation, with 300,000 millionaires that live in San Francisco.
300,000 millionaires?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I had to get the fuck out of there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad. Zateways, thank you so much for the €6. I appreciate it. Ariana, love your videos and commentary. I hope you are enjoying NY. I know you moved. Definitely live stream with Binder at some point. We will definitely live stream Binder. I will message you. I'm getting all of my stuff in shipment tomorrow. So by next stream, I'm definitely going to be up and running the YouTube videos. Like everything's going to be going again. Sorry guys, I had to take a bit of a hiatus, but
oh, you still haven't gotten your stuff.
Unforgivable. Unforgivable.
No. Oh man. Oh God. That's such a nightmare. Thinking of moving is like
it's so
giving
bad.
me PTSD about it. That's just
not just moving across the country.
Yeah, that's so much work.
I was very blessed because my friend's room opened up and it's a fucking phenomenal. It's like an unheard apartment. Like I get my own bathroom, I get my own room. You know, we have a dishwasher. It's like a really big apartment. Everything's remodeled. Like I got very lucky, but yeah, it's been expensive. So I still don't even have my stuff. I've been wearing the same 3 clothes for a week now, so I'm excited to have all my stuff.
That's rough.
I know. I'll be okay though. It's fine. Matt and I will make up for it in our live stream together at Subway eating tuna sandwiches. I'm just kidding. Miles Strickler, thank you so much for the $50. Oh my God, thank you so much.
Damn.
Hello from Pennsylvania. Thank you. Okay, big baller Miles. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's a very sweet donation. Thank you so much. Tickwick, thank you so much for the $20. I feel like I haven't watched one of your videos in a while, so here's the missing ad money. I really appreciate it. Videos will be starting to go out soon, I promise. Looney Tunes, now that you're living in NYC, you must give Bender grief about his New York Mets. Thank you so much for the $5. Do you not like the Mets or something? What's going on?
Oh no, the Mets are doing great right now, but the past 2 days they haven't. But they're one of the best teams in the league right now.
Maybe you could do that thing that guys do where they don't wash their shirt until they win or something like that. I know a lot of men
What
like
makes
to
you
do
think
that.
I wash my shirts regularly anyway?
Hey, I hate doing laundry, so Sam, oh, thank you so much for the $2. I really appreciate it. Just support and ask me a movie watch last year. I'm not a huge movie girl, but I love TV shows. I love the art of acting. Just in general, I just love watching actors. I think this past year, The Pit was a really good show, and I think Adolescence was a phenomenal show. Those are my 2 top favorite shows from the past year. And
I gotta watch it.
Which one?
Adolescence.
So Adolescence it's depressing. It's 4 episodes, but basically it's every episode is shot in one take.
Oh, I heard about this one.
Yeah. So the camera is following each actor around consistently for an hour, so they can't mess up or else they have to start over. So a lot of it is also improv. Like they know what they have to do, but some of it is improv too because you can't memorize all of that and do it in one take. So as far like if you love watching acting and you love the act of like the art of acting, but you also are into politics and you want to learn about red pill and how that hurts communities, it's a phenomenal show. It's just very heavy though. Chris, thank you so much for becoming a member of Nintendo Gaming Channel. Thank you so much for the $3. Should IRL ban Asian due to criminal streamers? I don't know what that is. Did you guys hear about that streamer that got like 20 years in Philippines or something like that? Was it in the Philippines?
Is it Johnny Somali?
Yeah. No, not Johnny Somali. No, I know who you're talking about.
No, it's not Johnny Somali.
I forgot his name. Hold on, I'm looking him up.
There was a different streamer.
Vitaly.
Oh, Vitaly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he just goes to people's countries and acts like an idiot. There's that other streamer who has like a bodyguard that like walks into people and like, you know, puffs his chest out. I saw that he got robbed and he was pissed off at his bodyguards. Oh, love to see that.
Yeah, he got 20 years. Chris,
That's
thank you so much
funny.
for the $20. I know it's so I was like, damn, finally, Fafo. Chris, thank you so much for the $20 and being a member. I really appreciate it. The civil rights passed and suddenly the American quote democracy code for majority ruled by a white man. Men started cementing swimming pools, i.e. eliminating free college, lessening labor power, and destroying the social safety net. Yeah, you can thank Ronald Reagan for a lot of that too. But thank you so much for the $20. I appreciate it. Invalid SY Naps, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. And that was a cute little thing you put there. I like it. Colombian Rican, thank you so much for the $2. The Mets have a new fan. Mets is the best. Let's go. All right, you and Matt can talk over that in one of his favorite NYC restaurants. Viva Cata Tumbo, thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate it. All right, guys, thank you so much. I love you. And my videos are going to start coming up again next week. I promise. Long form videos. Also,
Nice.
Ethan and Hassan are going to be debating live stream tomorrow. So,
Right. I might not be able to watch it live.
Yeah.
I can catch some of it. I gotta go to the dentist.
So this was after their whole Sam Cedar shtick. So, or the Sam Cedar thing that happened with Ethan.
I watched that on my
the
stream
Sam
last
Cedar
night.
debate did not go very well for him. It just goes to show you that like there's a difference between people who are principled and know what they're talking about and people who are just like crashing out because of grievances and inability to accept that like their audience turned on them because they pivoted. That was
Yeah,
great to
because Sam
watch.
Cedar is Jewish too, so Sam
Yeah,
Cedar was
and he
like, "What
doesn't
the
have
fuck are
like
you
a hate
saying?"
boner for Hassan. Like so it's just
Yeah, he
that
was
was
like,
that
"Dude,
was
what are you
really
saying?"
that was great.
Yeah, I really like that debate. I need to react about it on my stream, but I'm just letting you guys know that Hassan ends. That's gonna happen. But I
All
love you guys
right.
so much. Have a great
You take
night. Thanks for
care. Have a
having
good
me.
week.
Thanks. Bye.
Peace.
All right. Did you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
You can go ahead.
Okay. All right. Let me get situated here. So, first of all, thank you so much to the very generous John Lithium for another 5 gifted memberships. So kind, John. Thank you so much. The next one here is from Nintendo Gaming Channel. Might be further down here. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay, Nintendo Gaming Channel. So, U.S. Nazi Party, aka the Republican Party, elected Nazi dictator Orange Man Hitler, who filed for bankruptcy 6 times, thought themselves get rich. Yeah. They think he is an expert businessman. He bankrupted a casino, though. So, make it make sense, right? Zeitwise says it helps out big time in the Al Gore rhythm. I see what you did there, like that. ABS says, "What a coincidence! I emailed David, giving him your email and recommended he did an interview. That's awesome. Thank you. That's a good idea. I should reach out because I think that if he's actually willing to take some constructive criticism, I think I can help him. I don't know though. I have no idea if he's open to what I have to say because I understand that I come off as a little bit more radical, and I think he's probably a little bit more. He fashions himself as somebody that's more pragmatic. We'll see though. I'd like to talk to him for sure.
Who are you talking about again?
David Hogg.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Regionia, excuse me, says, my first ever super chat. Thank you. That's so cool. Think this is going to Mike. I'm on his, but why didn't Lance or David go on Status Coup Tuesday to help out on Canadian politics? I'd imagine that they were both already streaming themselves and were probably already on multiple shows. I can't tell you though, honestly. But thank you for the first time super chat.
Probably weren't asked. Who knows?
Yeah, I have no idea, honestly. Unknown says you should have No Justice on. She's great. I don't think I've heard of No Justice, but I'll have to look into
No
her.
Justice on what? What are they on YouTube or Twitch or?
I've never heard of them, but I'm not sure. Valuetainment is attention detainment disorder. Yeah, I agree. Archangel says, better start stockpiling materials. I'm single and will be doing a heavy shopping trip this weekend. I already have a decent amount of dry foods. Everyone needs to start backing up shit they need. Yeah, maybe at least pick up some extra toilet paper because we know that was the first to go during COVID. Maybe some canned foods. You can't go
Are we
wrong
gonna
with
we
that.
gonna be able to are we gonna be able to start advertising and like setting up like promotions with like survival kit companies
Survival
like
buckets
conservatives
or
do?
slop buckets.
Are we gonna be able to start doing that to our audience now? Is it finally gonna pay off to be a lefty commentator?
I think it will. Yeah. We can start like a protein puck company for like, the apocalypse where you get all your nutrition, all your calories with one protein puck per day, super cheap. You buy 500 of them for the low price of $5,000. You could do payments, finance it. Might be.
Tariffs got you down? Are you worried about the new Trump order? Well, buy your Binder bucket today. Make sure you get everything.
That's good. That comes with Figueredo food. Sam says, thoughts on Slotkin's criticism of Bernie and AOC's tour. Yeah, I saw that she said that they shouldn't use the word oligarchy because nobody knows what that means. And I think that James Carville said the same thing. I think Bernie put it best, that the American people aren't as stupid as she thinks they are.
with that being said, I think the American people are stupid, but I think that enough people, especially the people they're talking to, do know what oligarchy is, hence why they're there. I think that she's just a hater, to be honest. She doesn't like them. She wants to be the next Democratic Party leader, and she's trying to shit on them because she represents the opposite lane. So, yeah, I hate her. Full person. Kenzie, thanks for the membership for 22 months. Let's see here. The next one is from Lizzie Bennett, who says, "Oh dang, did I miss you guys reacting to the Temu version of The View? Since you guys do reactions now and again, ever thought of poking fun of Freedom Tunes content? The animator lives in his own bubble." I watched that on my Twitch stream back when I was doing Twitch streams. Those are also very bad. They're less like funny. They're just kind of more they come off as more preachy than like mockable to me, which I mean you could mock something that's preachy, but I don't know. I feel like these commentators who do these panel shows, that's ripe for mocking. So we'll see. Let's see. The next one is from Tija.
Oh wait, I think when I was on Tim Pool's show, geez, a number of years ago now, I was on at the same time as the Freedom Tunes guy. He was the guy sitting next to me. Like his name's Seamus, I think, or something like that, right? He was a bit much in terms of like very religious.
He's high on his own supply too, very religious. Yeah. Not a fan. I'm sure he's a huge fan of me though too. So probably doesn't know who the fuck I am. But okay, Tija says, "Please retire early. Your fans will be healthier. They will save hours to focus on things that matter and work actual jobs. Don't get me wrong. You will continue to be depressed. At least you deserve it." Damn, I love this. Well, I would love to retire early. I'm crossing my fingers for the both of us. Nice well wishes from the haters. And thank you.
As everyone knows from a couple of episodes ago, apparently Mike and I will never retire.
That's true. Yeah. So you're barking up the wrong tree, buddy. But thanks for the 200 rupees. Tigwick says, "I don't think the previous super chatter understands how this works, but anyways, please don't retire." Thanks, Tigwick. Autistic Goblin says, "This evening I did my first protest since Bush. Hell yeah. 10 of us on a busy corner with signs, music, and honking cars. I'm exhausted and yet refilled. One of many in my county. Happy May Day." Hell yeah. Good for you, Autistic Goblin. That's awesome.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get out there, do it, because I really do think it's making its mark. And if you can't get out there,
everywhere every weekend.
Yes, and if you can't get out there, life. I get it. I got kids. It's difficult, especially on the weekends when I'm the most busy with their activities and stuff. Let people know about it online. Like share that stuff. That helps just as much if you can't get out there.
Yeah, and as much as we were shitting on Facebook, if you can find like a local group, like a political group, they often post a lot of these things. There's several in Portland. So like just from my own personal experience, maybe if you have a Facebook still, look and see if they're doing something in your area, because that's
Facebook groups is the last reason to go on that site. It's the only thing worthy of anything, like finding like those niche like local Facebook groups, because they really like people have like Facebook groups for like your exact neighborhood, and people check that shit. Like I had from when my dog was a puppy 2 years ago, we still had his old like crate and his like the pee training pads, like a whole box of them. And I felt so bad to just toss that shit because we didn't need it anymore. We needed the space. So I just quickly posted a thing on our local, like my local Facebook group, like, and someone who fosters dogs picked it up within the hour. It was crazy.
Nice.
And it felt good to do that and not just toss it down in the garbage. To actually have that go to help other animals and that are up for adoption.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Check those groups. Okay, so Cyborg says today Anna Kasparian said she thought Jimmy Dore would be a good advisor to a president on foreign policy about 24 minutes into the TYT live show. Did she? Well, I'll reserve judgment for until I see the clip. But I mean, look, at the rate she's going, I think that I wouldn't be surprised, let's just say, if she did a reunion with Dave Rubin. I'd actually want to see that. I think it would be funny. Looney Tune says, sorry, David, but my Lance money is going to Mike. Well, hey, I appreciate that.
David's not even here.
David's not here, no. Let's see here.
Can I just point out that here Mike and I are like we are week after week, going through, giving you all the time with the super chats, addressing all of your questions, comments, and concerns. Whereas I'm not saying it's wrong that the others leave early. I'm not saying that. But sometimes they're just like, I gotta get out of here. We're never like that. Mike and I are happy to spend the time with you. Do what you want with those with that information. But I'm just letting you guys pointing it out to you guys.
Blue Dream Gaming says, if I could spend every day just smoking cannabis and gaming, I would, but alas, capitalism demands more of us. Serfs, love the show. You are awesome. Exactly. I'm not saying that like I wouldn't want to work. I think that like there's value in working and being productive. You don't want to just become like, a sloth and stay home every single day. But I think that like the balance is just so out of whack. Like we should spend most of our time enjoying life and trying to like be happy instead of, grinding away at your 9 to 5. I think that we have to adjust that.
Oh, I definitely want to be a sloth. Don't take that from me.
I mean, some days, right? It just, the work-life balance, it's not healthy, so.
No, I mean, honestly, if you enjoy what you do, and I think everyone on this show, in terms of this stuff, like some of us have jobs outside of this stuff. I think we enjoy it. I mean, at least I do.
Yeah.
Maybe David doesn't actually. Sometimes it doesn't seem like David.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It feels you can't really complain when this is like for me, like this is my full-time job, so it's hard to complain knowing what I came from and how I would never ever want to go back. And if I did go back, I would yearn for the days where I did the Humanist Report. With that being said, the way that you make a living is repetitive and redundant, and it wears you down sometimes, regardless of what you do. But like I am self-aware enough to know that I'm extremely lucky to be able to talk for a living. So okay.
He just doesn't stop, folks. He just talks and talks. My God.
I never shut the fuck up. Even when I'm off camera, it just never ends. I feel bad.
He doesn't even get paid for what he's talking off camera. He's doing the work for free.
I should basically be like, I'll talk to somebody, have a conversation, and be like, super chat,
Right.
Narrative Dude with the $20. Thanks so much. Yes, dead internet. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I brought that up briefly. As you find minds, we're talking about all the AI generated crap, and I see an avalanche of bots responding to the post. Sometimes I feel alone, other times I hope I am. Yeah, I feel you there. The dead internet really is becoming a thing that I think is inevitable.
I do think these companies are going to start, crashing and burning though. Like I don't think AI is going to go the way of like Web3 or NFTs, where it just completely it's just a dead industry. I do think that the companies that do some sort of AI platform or feature or product that actually like helps people more efficiently or productively do their job, but they're the ones who still do it. I think those products will still exist because a lot of AI is really just when people are saying AI now, it's automation they're talking about. And that's obviously going to be a thing. But I do think like the idea that like AI is going to replace you, or you're going to be talking to AI and AI agents are going to be doing all the jobs. I think those companies that are greatly overselling it are going to crash and burn.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, Bayphoto says, read Careless People by Sarah Williams. She was an exec, now whistleblower at Meta. Meta has a court injunction blocking her from promoting her book. I'll look into that, Bayphoto. That sounds interesting. I might have heard of her. She sounds familiar. I'm not sure if this is the same person I'm thinking of, but either way, that sounds really interesting. Dirty Pirates says, isn't real having a rage. And by the way, thank you for the 20. Very generous. Isn't real having a raging fire and not having their own equipment to put it out will never not be hilarious to me. Someone must have told them to douse it. To douse it would be a ceasefire. Yeah. Yeah, I saw some of that. I think it was wasn't it a fire at like an IDF facility as well? I don't know specifically where it was, but yeah.
The fire was Hamas.
They'll blame Hamas regardless. Tokyo Hans says, Mike claims to not hate old people, but look at the people he hates. Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump, Joe Biden. Wait, I figured it out. He doesn't hate old people. He hates white people. That's true. You could say the same thing. Old people, white people, there's a pattern there that you are recognizing that maybe I need to reflect on a little bit. Albert Hughes says, shout out to the YouTube channel Ebb and Flow. He does insightful commentary on current politics. I first learned about him when he was calling out TYT's Grift. That channel sounds very familiar. I feel like I've seen them before, but I don't know if I'm thinking of the right person. I'm tired and there's a lot of people on the internet. So, it sounds familiar. Chris says, live reaction to Ethan versus Hassan. Take a shot every time Ethan jealously alludes to Hassan's larger fan base. Oh man, if you take a shot based on that, that's gonna get you liver poisoning. I think that my fear is that the Ethan versus Hassan conversation / debate is not going to be as good as the Sam Cedar one. Because with Sam Cedar, Ethan Klein, for whatever reason, thought that Sam was going to be on his side, or he could get Sam on his side. But obviously, Sam wasn't buying his narrative. He wouldn't let him conflate Jewishness with anti-Zionism, which he was trying to do. Whereas with Hassan, I feel like Ethan is so butthurt by Hassan, and so like the pettiness is so high that I don't know if it's even going to be productive. If it's going to devolve into a screaming match or what. So we'll see. But I am happy that the Sam Cedar conversation took place because Sam knocked it out of the park. Not that like Hassan wouldn't do well, because of course Hassan would. It's just a matter of like whether Ethan is too petulant to actually have a conversation like an adult with Hassan. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Sam says, keep up the good work. Our country needs you. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then last but not least, Tara says, have you been seeing Mecca getting upset with Grok with it being woke and admitting Elon trained it to appeal to the right? I haven't seen that specifically, but I saw some people talk about how Grok was woke. And somebody asked it why it was anti-Trump, and it was talking about how it appeals to facts and logic, and it was really good. I'm paraphrasing what I saw, but okay, last one. Actually, there's a new one that came in. Carrie says, I'm part of a local political group in my area, Indivisible, and we are protesting every week. 3 protests this week, and really good turnout. That's really encouraging to hear, Carrie. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I mean, these local groups are really putting in the work. Around Portland, there's multiple protests per week. There's one for sure, like a big one every single Saturday, sometimes on Sunday too. And you don't have to go very far. So I would really encourage you, if you want to get out there, now is as good as a time as ever, because there's so many.
And if you're looking for one, you probably have a local Indivisible group that's doing one, because they've been like on fire, like leading the charge with like setting these protests up.
Yeah, absolutely. Indivisible is great. Also, another one is 5051. Both of these groups are really doing the work to mobilize people. So credit to them. That's all I got, Matt. Do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. My first super chat is from Colin Hutton with a super chat. Hey, yo, Matt, I have that exact same shirt. LOL. It's just too sweet. It's a great shirt for people who don't know. It's I was always waiting for someone today to or the last time I wore it to be like, why is the Ramon spelt wrong on Matt's Ramon shirt? But it's actually it's a parody Ramon shirt. It's Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, and Ramones is spelt Ramon for Razor Ramon, and not it's missing the E that's in the band's name. But it's so that's what the shirt is.
So you didn't realize it was a parody when you got it?
No, I realized.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
I was saying I wasn't sure if other people did.
Oh, okay, I see.
I thought someone would be like, "Why is the Ramones missing the E on Matt's shirt?" Because this is the exact like this is a famous like cover for the band, the Ramones, and they basically took out the E in the band name and then photoshopped Razor Ramon's face on Joey, Johnny, Dee Dee, and Tommy Ramone.
Okay.
Let's go to the next super chat. Tokyo Hans, David Hogg is a Pelosi bro like us, and Tokyo Hans also sent 5 gift memberships on YouTube. Thank you so much, Tokyo Hans. Zeitweiss, did you see the Ludwig Borga Dark Side of the Ring episode? The Finnish Nazi wrestler politician. I have heard about it. I have not seen it yet. I heard it's good. I mean, all of the Dark Side of the Ring episodes are really good. I gotta watch that one though. Aubrey with a super chat. Marched with the IWW for May Day today. Excited for organizer training later this month. We need militant unions and mass ASAP. Hashtag leftist mafia is best. That's awesome, Aubrey. Yeah, I totally forgot that today was May Day. I mean, not that I'd be able to go out. I was working and I had to do things, but man, that I remember when I would go to protests on May Day. May Day is a big protest day. Now you have me reminiscing in my I'm in nostalgia mode right now. Thank you. Chris, aka Cult of Personality Birch. Binder, I have called in and had you tell me stories about Mike. To think they co-hosted together is a disgrace to his legacy. The Vanguard called it. Oh, you're talking about Michael Brooks. Oh, and this seems to be you're talking about Anna Kasparian. Yeah, Michael Brooks and Anna Kasparian, for a very short time, only a handful of weekends, they co-hosted a show together. Michael was friends with the publisher of Jacobin magazine, and he had sold them on the idea, and it's a great idea for specifically for Michael to do this, to do a weekly Saturday show on their social channels, and Anna Kasparian was Michael's co-host on the show. For those who didn't know, it was short lived. Unfortunately, because Michael passed away. Tigwick with a $20 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much, Tigwick. Matt, did you see Dave Portnoy talking about meme coins being legal Ponzi schemes? Coffeezilla covered it. I have not. I have been a little bit out of the crypto loop. I got to get back in. I mean, I've been busy with some other things. But yes, and Coffeezilla is great.
Yeah, he is.
Marcus Tan, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. Marcus Tan with a super chat following that membership. Copy Singapore. I am from Singapore. Public housing is the best. 80% of citizens own a home. Oh, that's awesome. First of all, awesome to have a listener from a viewer from Singapore. Thank you so much, Marcus. And damn, I wish. That's the one. That's like my one thing. Like that's the. I'm not a person who wants a lot of things in terms of like, I don't want fancy. I would probably never, even if I had the money, I would probably never buy a new car. It seems all that stuff seems, but owning a home has always been like the thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the quintessential American dream. That's how you build generational wealth and whatnot.
Yeah. That's the but I don't think it's gonna happen unless we moved out of New York City. Honestly, you really can't find, at least in Queens, a place that's like honestly like less than like 800,000. Honestly,
That's wild.
Like
your mortgage would be like 4,000 a month or 5,000 a month for that.
And I'm talking about a house specifically. Like you could buy an apartment or a co-op for less, not much less, but maybe like 600. But I don't want that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem renting. I think apartments are great if you're renting. I don't think they're good for owning, because on top of paying a mortgage, you still have to pay the whatchamacallit, the fees. No, you still have to pay for the fees for the super and the upkeep and everything of the apartment complex.
Oh, right. And coming
So
up with
you're
a down
paying
payment to just like go in an apartment when you can rent, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like to me, the whole point of owning is that you don't pay any fee that doesn't go directly to you owning the home. Like your mortgage goes to you owning outright, and once you pay off the mortgage, you own the house. Whereas with an apartment or a co-op, you pay your mortgage, and even when you pay it off, you still pay the monthly fees, and those fees are like $1,000. That's rent anywhere else. Maybe that's not rent in New York City, but that's rent anywhere else. Annie Fitzgerald with a $10 super chat. A Binder majority report chat came through for me again this morning. In about 30 minutes of my call, 33 people donated, and I exceeded my goal. Thank you to everyone who donated to help me cover my new wheelchair. That's awesome, Annie. For people who don't know, Annie, basically called into the majority report earlier today, which was roughly 10 hours ago, maybe a little bit less by the time she called in, and we plugged her her crowdfunding link to help her do that, and people donated. That's awesome. Thank you so much to all the majority report viewers who helped Annie out. Really appreciate it. Looney Tunes 9000 wanted to call in and talk about the new clip that CBS 60 Minutes released recently about their ex-producer stepping down just recently. Oh, I saw that clip. Yeah, it's it's a little bit too late to get to it now, but next time I'm doing a stream, call in and we could talk about it. T King with a super chat. Matt, I got Owen to send you an email for collab. Owen who? I don't remember. I'm sorry. That way I can look out for it. Ford 8484 with a $10 super chat for a soon-to-be price of a cup of coffee. Keep up the good fight, you beautiful fucking people. Thank you so much, Ford. Cyborg Manifesto, Binder Bucket. I just lost it. Binder Bucket sounds like a great hangover meal from a food truck. It does, actually. Cyborg Manifesto with another super chat, this time 10 smackaroos. Fill the Binder Bucket. Oh, thank you so much, Cyborg Manifesto. Chris with a $10 super chat. Hear me out. Leftist vest. Well, I mean, I guess my punk vest can be considered a leftist vest.
I'm imagining a vest like a fishing vest, and inside one pocket you have the Communist Manifesto. Inside the other pocket you have those immigration know your rights cards. You have some pens just in case, some paper.
Yeah.
Some markers to make a protest sign.
But if you were watching when's the last time I wore it on a stream or something? If you were watching the Majority Report election night stream, I was wearing it on that show. My punk vest. Looney Tunes 9000 with the super chat. For your call-ins, invest in StreamYard. The Letter Hack does his call-in shows through there.
How?
I mean, we do invest in StreamYard. We use it for this.
How do you do?
I don't know.
Though?
Yeah, I don't. How do they do? Does he just like share the link and he pulls them on as they call in?
Oh, that's one way to do it, I guess.
Right.
You wouldn't really be able to vet them, but I mean,
you're,
Yeah.
you.
I mean,
probably
I don't
need to.
vet people anyway to begin with.
Yeah.
Goofy Goober with a super chat. I've already been replaced by AI, digital artist for 30 plus years, and now can't even get a job at Starbucks. Damn. I mean,
hate AI so much.
are big companies really like? I think it's probably harder for freelance artists, because the type of people who just need like one-offs, they seem to be the ones who would stupidly, because AI art is absolute garbage. They would seem like they'd be the ones to use an AI program instead of paying a freelance artist to give them a one-off, like project-based thing. But in terms of like on staff graphic artists and stuff like that, I can't imagine AIs replace those. Because it's just not good, and those companies do want their product design and their art to actually sell their products. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I would imagine it probably is hurting artists, but in terms of like certain jobs, graphic design still exists for sure. I would never like, if when I make shirts, it'll never be AI art. And part of it is I want to support artists, but part of it is like AI art is not something I would endorse. It just doesn't. I'm against it ethically, but also as an artist myself, I think it's gross. It's just not good. Benjamin, this isn't a super chat, but Benjamin said there has been news of teams replacing arts with AI prompters, but they usually have to rehire them shortly after. Yeah, like, if you're someone just who needs like a quick like one-off piece of digital art for some like social marketing campaign, and you're not a big company, yeah, they would probably usually hire a freelance artist, and they're not now. That's certainly the thing, but I can't imagine that if you are a serious company that cares about your presentation and you have the funds, you wouldn't hire graphic designers. Is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Tokyo Han says, buy the Binder bucket with your Binder coin. Recruit 5 friends to invest in your Binder buckets and become your own boss. The Binder MLM. The Matt level marketing scheme, the MLM. Wait, should we go multi-level Matt? That's the multi-level Matt scheme, MLM.
MLM, multi-level, or multi-Matt Mike level mark.
Right.
Dual one.
The Matt level Mike scheme.
Let me see. I think the next one is Cyborg, right?
Oh yeah. The Cyborg Manifesto with a $10 super chat. Binder bucket or suck it. That's the phrase I'm going with. Chris with the $10 super chat. Elon wants nothing more than to be loved. She's never been more hated. What will Z do next? My bet is on an indoor sovereign city. I have no idea. You're all over the place with this one, Chris. I don't quite understand it. Do you, Mike?
Yeah. I'm not sure who the she is. Is the Xi referring to Xi Jinping?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Right. T King with a super chat. Owen Morgan, Telltale, cult expert, atheist, leftist.
Oh,
right,
okay.
Now I remember.
Yeah, that name, they brought his name up before.
Jerry Martinez with a super chat. Thoughts on Pritzker? Majority reports seem to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I can't get behind him because we can't fight oligarchy with a billionaire. I mean, it's hard to bring up this conversation without pointing out that FDR was very successful at being a class traitor. I mean,
he's saying all the right stuff, but he's a billionaire, so it's really,
right.
really
But
hard.
he's also very progressive. Like he's not just someone who talks to talk. He's backed it up. Like he's been pretty good on that stuff. What I want him to do is I want him to put more of his money literally where his mouth is. He talks the talk, he walks the walk, but he's got funds, and I don't think he's spending as much as he can to fund organizations, campaigns, politicians, campaigning. He needs to spend more money, honestly, if he really wants to show that that's who he is. Then he's got to spend that money much more than whatever he is spending now, because I don't think it's if he was spending so much, there would be headlines. Like there's headlines that Elon Musk spends $288 million to fund Donald Trump and other Republicans.
Let me see what his net worth is. $3.7 billion.
It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot.
So he's a poor billionaire compared to Elon Musk.
It's
I
still
think that
it's
what I would like to
still
see
he
from
still
him.
he still can he still can put that
can't
money
spend that
somewhere.
in 2 lifetimes if he was lucky enough to live that long. What I would like to see, what would help me to warm up to ever even considering voting for a billionaire, is if he was like, I'm going to be the billionaire that abolishes billionaires. I'm going to make sure that my kind goes extinct. We're going to have a wealth tax. We're going to have a 99.99% tax after $999 million. If he did something like that and was very adamant about getting billionaire influence out of politics, saying like, look, I see how if he does like a basically reverse Trump did this to great effect in the GOP primary back in 2015. If he says like, I see how the sausage is made, we've got to stop this, give the people the power back. If he did something like that and really leaned into FDR, I'd say awesome. But right now, sounding like Bernie Sanders alone isn't sufficient. I think that there's going to be people in the establishment that co-opt that progressive rhetoric because they know that that's where the energy is with the party. And coming off of 4 years of Donald Trump, assuming we still have free and fair elections, that's probably going to be where the base gravitates to, unless they try to successfully shove somebody like Pete Buttigieg down our throats or Gretchen Whitmer. So he's picking a lane.
Oh, Gretchen Whitmer's done. She's blown it. She's done.
She better be done because she's terrible.
She's never unbelievable. All she had to do was not hang out with Donald Trump, and she just can't seem to stop hanging out with Donald Trump. It's so fucking bizarre. She was definitely a contender, someone considered a front runner. It's insane. I can't understand why she's doing what she did. But terrible political instincts. Even once she was caught there, the picture of her holding the folder up in front of her face, I mean,
so weird.
Embarrassing. Yeah. Like, she's done. And Gavin Newsom's done too. Done.
Yeah.
Done.
I think that there's gonna like this next primary is gonna be really interesting. Because I don't know how it's gonna go, right? Who knows what's going to happen? I know that the progressive momentum that we're seeing now can easily be funneled into like some dipshit like Slotkin. The Democratic Party is very good at getting the base to go along with some corporate neoliberal drone. We'll see. I like what I'm hearing from JB Pritzker, but I am prejudiced against billionaires. So I need specific things if I'm gonna trust him, which I will never trust him, but I'd warm up to him if he was very anti-billionaire and like use his billionaire status to like farm clout off of hating billionaires. Like do the whole FDR, I want them to hate me. Then I'll be convinced.
Right. I think they run that 87-year-old who wanted to become
I'm down with that too. Let's go, Dolores. Look, nothing's gonna get better. I'm just down for the show. Then, if we can't get real political change, let's make it entertaining.
I know what's gonna happen. The Democratic Party is gonna announce that they have a surprise running for 2028, and they're just gonna back that candidate, and they're gonna unleash a promo video to unveil and introduce this mystery candidate to the Democratic base. And that promo video will start with a black screen, and all of a sudden you'll hear, "I'm back in the race!" And it's Joe Biden once again.
And America would probably vote for him. Democratic Party voters would overwhelmingly vote for him. And Americans would vote for him. That's how we.
You would be really funny, actually, if Joe Biden actually did forget everything that happened, and he just comes out running the same campaign he ran in 2020, saying that he's the only one who could beat Donald Trump and he's the man for the moment.
I'm just not getting my hopes up because I know it's going to be disappointing either way. It looks like you did get 2 more from Chris.
Oh, I did?
got a couple more too. Yeah.
Jerry
one.
Martinez with a super chat. Oh wait, I already read that one. Chris with 2 super chats in a row. And you have the funds, you mean profits, and happy May Day, by the way. Let's have another. Thank you so much, Chris, and everyone who gave me super chats. And also, really quick, because nothing else is on Twitch except for this. Thank you, Lux Progressive, for the raid earlier in the show. Really appreciate it, Lux Progressive. All right, Mike, back to you.
All right. Well, there's one for either Rebecca or Ariana. I don't know if we read this from Kowalski. Let me just read it real quick. I have planted an area that is 1.5 times the size of New York City Central Park, which I think is about 1.4999 times the area that Mike has planted this year. Tell Mike to step up his game. Enjoy NYC. I will have to step it up, Kowalski, for sure. Creflo says, did you guys see the Chris Cuomo town hall where Stephen A. Smith asked Trump a question about Harvard and Trump rambled about Harlem and the black vote? I did see a clip of that. Yeah, it was it's very on brand for Donald Trump. JCass says doo-doo water. That's all I got to say. Sorry. Hey, I appreciate the thought. Doo-doo water it is. Creflo says, who's ready for Slotkin Glusenkamp Perez 2028? Oh my god.
You know what? That sounds like a possibility.
Yeah, don't put it past Democrats. They're talking about how mad they are right now and how much they love Bernie and AOC, but just a couple of mainstream media, hit pieces against them and or against AOC or whoever is the progressive choice, and they'll suck it up and vote for Slotkin.
Democrats are gonna run Trump against JD Vance.
Yeah. On that note, Pierce says, I heard rumors that Clinton will run again. I think she's done. I don't think she's going to run again.
No,
I think that
she's
every
not
once in a
going
while, they'll say, oh, this is funny. Every once in a while, they'll say that just to get clicks, like certain articles. I think she's done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's basically
that's the show.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, who are we going to raid?
Let me pull it up. Do you have anybody in mind?
Let's see who's on right now.
I don't have anybody on Twitch to.
I see USA Hole is on. Maple Takes is on. Dylan Burns is on.
Lots of people.
We haven't raided. What?
Lots of people are on.
Yeah, we haven't raid. Dylan's rarely on when we're on. Maybe we should raid Dylan.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Raid.
I'm pressing that start raid button. Oh, probably from Lance.
Oh, okay.
All right, ready to hit that? I'm still filling up. All right, ready to hit that button now?
All right. Yep.
All right, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. Always appreciate it. And we'll see you all next week.
Take care, everybody.